Welcome back, pop stars. I'm Rizzo.
I'm Sheriff Benji.
and first off, I wanted to say Happy Father's Day because this podcast will be coming out on Father's Day, and because I would only have loved this film series if not for my own father. That's right, we are reviewing Toy Story 5, which came out in 2026, only a few days ago. Benji and I watched it last night, and I had the hardest time not talking about it with you on the ride home.
We sat there in silence.
Yes, we did. So let's get a few things out of the way. We are going to be reviewing Toy Story 5. No spoilers at first, then we'll get into spoilers.
Everybody dies!
Oh my god! I will also say we were originally supposed to have a 4-movie reaction come out this week for the first 4 Toy Stories. Obviously, there have been copyright claims, so we're going to wait that out for a little bit. However, you can check out all 4 reactions on Patreon right now in our $5 tier. Okay, with that out of the way, Benji! Let's talk Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
What did you think as the man who's been force-fed these films?
Look, I am not an avid fan of the Toy Story series. I have nostalgia for the first one and the second one. I think the second one would have been my favorite, mainly for the nostalgia up to this point. We all know, if you've been here, I've got beef with the third one and therefore also the fourth one. But that being said, this one might have been my favorite of the franchise.
I knew it! I knew it! I could feel it in the theater. I was like, oh, Benji's fucking with this film.
I hated it.
No, you didn't.
You don't know anything. I hate that movie.
Look, I also have very interesting, controversial thoughts. If you do check out our reactions on Patreon, you will kind of get the full extent of it. Not just the full extent of it, the drunken extent of it. Because we
had some drinks.
We had some drinks. We got really passionate about those damn toys. My controversial opinion is that obviously the first one is phenomenal, but that the second one, overrated. I personally do not think it's better than the first movie because I specifically feel like the first movie does the best in terms of it's got Woody and Buzz. They are relevant to the story. And then the second movie kind of focuses more on, well, let's turn all of these side characters into basically mini leads, which for some people, that's what the franchise became. For me, the franchise was, who's the most important toy for this story? And then the second and third one kind of was more like, well, we have to include all of these characters. And, you know, I have my rants and thoughts, but I won't focus too long on it. But I was not beholden to these first 3 films in a precious way that would ruin me enjoying any of the other films. So I did not mind that Woody had to kind of grow into his own autonomy after the third film. I actually loved the way the fourth film ended. And honestly, the fourth film is one of my favorite films. But now I really fucking love the fifth film. Toy Story 5 was really good. I loved it. And you know what? We'll get into it. First off, I'll say the plot of Toy Story 5, if you haven't been following, obviously the first 3 films, Andrew Stanton, who is the director of this one, also the director of Finding Nemo. He has gone on record as saying that obviously the first 3 were Andy's trilogy. These next 3 are going to be Bonnie's trilogy. And
I will say quickly, just to comment on the director being the director for Finding Nemo, that makes sense to why the toys always get fucking lost.
No, he's not the director of all of them, but they have been working as a brain trust together.
That's why he was like, yeah, I could take over this franchise real nice.
It was
I got a few ideas.
They said, do we have a director who knows how things can get lost?
And they were like, I think I got somebody.
I think I got
and
just
he was
the
like,
person.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Did you say lost?
You said you want those toys to be lost? Yeah.
I got you.
That sounds nice.
So the plot of the first 3 are obviously focusing on Andy's toys at the end of it. It's a great ending to Andy's trilogy. It's a great ending to a trilogy. I just don't think that we need to get mad at anything comes after because I feel like the 4th and the 5th one justify their own existence. But yes, so the 3rd one ends with Andy giving his toys to Bonnie, and then the 4th one and 5th one are about kind of the toys realizing, hey, maybe we don't want to be beholden to one human for the rest of our lives. So the 5th one's story is that Bonnie is getting a little older and tech is taking over. So the 3rd one from the first to the second to the third, they pretty much followed the years that they were released in, I think. Because like by the third one, Andy's in college. The actual actor was probably around that age. We were around that age. But then the fourth one, which came out, like 9 years after the third one, Bonnie's the same age.
Right.
So I guess we're still in 2010, 11-ish. And
maybe like 12 or 13 by then.
Not by the fourth one.
Oh, because it was kind of the next year.
She was basically almost identical. And then now she's what? How old is Bonnie?
So I think they said it. I don't remember, but I think she was 8.
Right, because they are talking about how technology has been aging these kids up a little bit.
Yeah, that's been making them.
But even still, she's not
grow up faster.
That much older. So I guess this is kind of a period piece of a Toy Story.
Well, by now it would be.
And I guess that makes sense because while it's a little antiquated watching these toys deal with technology the way they're like being surprised by technology.
Also, yeah, just now. But it would make sense for.
Yeah, because in 2010, 12, like honestly.
15, 16 at this point.
Facebook was still.
Because Bonnie was like,
Facebook wasn't that relevant.
Bonnie was like 6 in the 4th movie. So now it would be 2 years later.
Yeah, so if we're talking like 2012, 2013, yeah, tech hadn't really fully taken over the way it has now. We didn't have TikTok.
Even some of the technology that's in it is a little bit more 2022 than it is 2016.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, we'll get into that. But definitely towards the end for sure. But yeah, so technology is taking over. It is kind of. I really like the way it's introduced, even though it is a little bit of a boomer take. Like, I will say it was funny watching them. Sometimes the toys would say lines. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Someone's dad wrote this line.
Well, I definitely, even watching the trailer where they were like, oh my gosh, the kids are growing up so fast and they don't play anymore and they're all on their little, iPads and devices. And I was kind of like, I don't know how y'all are going to solve this. Like, that's only getting worse. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
You just wait till Toy Story 6, coronavirus.
Oh my God. No, they're not going to have.
And then the masks will come alive.
They're not. No, I was like, I don't see where we're gonna go with this. Obviously, they have a resolution, so I was very interested to see.
But it was a little fun. Like it was weird. There were some moments where they would be talking, and I would think, my gosh, this is definitely very boomer kind of take. A little behind on the times, not too much.
But that's the point.
It is the point. And I will say, as it kind of kept going and as they started to reveal what the kind of moral was about, not just old man shouts at the clouds, but when they actually got into the meat of what the story is aiming for, then I was really fucking with it. Like theme wise. But yes, overall, spoiler free story. Tech is taking over and Jesse is concerned about Bonnie. We'll kind of keep it vague until we get into the spoilers. Thoughts about the story in general without spoiling it?
I will say it was the first time watching these movies that I felt like I was invested for most of it. Like I was actually like kind of not going, all right, we got to get through this part. Like,
You really don't like these movies.
It's not even that I can't even explain it. It's not that I don't like them. I just don't love them, I guess.
That's fair. Well, I mean, I will say, yes, most of the times, I think the plots of these films, it really hinges upon, I guess, maybe, I don't know, maybe how you identify with the toys. And, the first one definitely delves into Woody's jealousy of being replaced by another more significant toy, which I think is kind of a universal feeling. There is that feeling of maybe not being a toy, but the feeling of like, oh, someone cooler is going to come along and then kick me out of my spot.
Yeah.
Obviously, the second one taps into kind of that feeling of rejection. But they do kind of get a little bit more metaphorical as they go along. Just because I feel like, the plots of the second, the third, and the fourth really, like, they hit if you're willing to
go with them.
Go with it, but it's not like, we're not toys, we have a lot more autonomy than these toys have. So that it really does you kind of have to go along with them and meet them where they're at in terms of like, I know what it's like to have to silently love somebody and, be tossed away or put in the closet. And obviously these are all things that could actually have real world metaphors. But I feel like the first one definitely has the most kind of clear cut. What's it like to be replaced by someone cooler? You don't really need to imagine yourself as a toy to kind of identify with that. And then the rest of the stories, I can't understand if you're not like fully invested in it, because at the end of the day, it's not like it touches on human things, but this was one where like all of the characters I feel like were involved, including Bonnie.
I feel like all of the characters were used very well in this and very necessarily.
Yes.
I feel like the story and the way that everybody played into it and how it all worked out was all very tight.
Yeah.
It felt all very necessary.
Yeah, well, I will say this movie is bold enough, which for a lot of people is an issue, but it's bold enough to be like, again, who should be the main focus? We don't just need to stuff every character in. And I will say they do, because at the end of the day, if you're going to make a Toy Story movie and not involve Buzz and Woody in some capacity,
Yeah.
people will riot, including me. Not really. I don't care that much.
Riot.
But you know what I mean. Like,
We want to see everybody.
we do want to see everybody, but the fourth and the fifth films have been bold enough to be like, look, we don't have anything more to say about Slinky or Ham. Like, can we just fucking focus on somebody else?
Yeah.
And like, I think the idea of focusing on Jesse inspired.
Yeah.
Because outside of Woody in the first film, I honestly think Jesse has the most intriguing plot of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think that is true. I think my own statement is true because in watching this film, she's the only character that across all 5 films doesn't feel like she's been altered in any way. This felt like a very natural extension. She felt so alive.
Yeah.
Like so alive. Like every scene, every interaction, every word that came out of her mouth and every response she had to another character felt so much like an extension of Jessie from the second film.
Very rooted in her character.
Very rooted, didn't feel changed, so it just felt like such a natural. Of course, this is the character with the most potential, the most unresolved issues that we get to play into.
Mm-hmm.
And by golly, do they play into it. What?
Pun intended.
What?
That we get to play into.
Oh, damn, pun unintended, but yeah, retroactively.
But now it's intended.
Intended, yes. The most we can play into. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. They did, obviously, they shoved in a lot of things that if people wouldn't have seen, they would have been mad at.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I agree with you. I think this film knew who to focus on. They had a lot of new fun characters, including... did you know who did the voice of Mr. Smarty Pants, who was the toilet trainer device?
I was like, when he was talking at first, I was like, I do know that voice.
Let's say when he was in the imaginary fantasy sequence, he looked just like his real world counterpart.
No, I can't say. Who is
Orange hair, obnoxious, comedian.
Is this boring for you guys? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. You want me to tell you?
Like a redheaded comedian?
Yeah, there's not Carrot Top.
Older guy?
Older now, yeah.
Older now. No, I would need to hear him talk again.
I know. It's Conan O'Brien.
Oh, I don't know Conan O'Brien that well.
Yeah,
I
that's
might not
fair.
have
That's
gotten
fair.
that. Yeah.
No, Conan O'Brien plays Smarty Pants, who is one of not Bonnie's.
Yeah.
So we get introduced to a new character. Again, we're not going to get too spoilery, but as these toys, unfortunately, once again, you say it, Benji.
Lost.
They love getting lost.
But I will say, well, is that a spoiler though? They always get lost.
They always get. It would be like saying Tom Cruise running and being disavowed in a Mission Impossible movie is a spoiler. It's just what you expect nowadays. Or saying High School Musical is going to have Troy and Gabrielle break up, or at least
Gabriella. But yes,
it's just at this point they've got to have a sequence where they're broken up.
It's like, yeah. So this time when they break up, spoilers. Is it?
Not really, but anyway, yes. So they get lost, and what you were going to say, Benji?
I'll say it in the spoiler section.
Oh, you will. Okay. Well,
it hit different this time. I'll say.
Yeah, and they do traverse into new territory, and as we meet new characters, we meet characters who are kind of a combination of both a toy and a device.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, a lot of these characters have some really strong feelings about devices because of the way one of them specifically plays into Bonnie's life. Bonnie obviously gets a new lily pad, which is like, I don't know, it was like one of those toys I never had.
Yeah, it's like one of those leapfrog toys.
Yeah,
like
it was
the educational.
It was like 100% a leapfrog, like a little bit more competent leapfrog. This leapfrog had internet access, which I was like, I don't know. That seems shady for an 8-year-old.
Seems a little bit irresponsible.
Very irresponsible. But yeah, so as Bonnie gets kind of more sucked into the tech world, so do the toys. They get to meet characters who are like combinations. But something I really liked is that, without spoiling it, this film does have an actual resolution that I was surprised by. Because I remember when it was first announced, a lot of people thought, and rightfully so, because again, this is still a Disney-produced film. So while they're still making a movie about how a lily pad's the villain, they also have released a real lily pad. So it's just kind of like, it's one of those things like when the Lorax.
They did?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of like when the Lorax in the movie is talking about how we need to keep America green, but then he's also supporting car companies for illumination. You're just like,
you guys, watch your movie.
Watch your own fucking movie. So I knew going in that there was going to be a little bit of a bias, you know, but I was expecting something along the lines of actually tech is okay and we should get over ourselves and kind of move on. It doesn't do that. It actually has a very interesting resolution.
And I thought the opposite, where they were going to convince Bonnie to stay away from tech.
Yeah, you know, it was either going to be one extreme or the other. And I think this was kind of a balance of real life.
A good real life balance for a resolution, if that's not a spoiler. Sorry.
I'm kind of done dancing around spoilers, you know?
Okay, I think let's get into the meat and potatoes.
So to end it off, if you want to see this film and you're not one of those people that thinks to themselves, man, I hate the fact that these films haven't justified their existence since the second one, I would challenge you to say, or I would challenge you to think about the fact that the second movie was only greenlit as a direct-to-VHS sequel that was not going to be produced by Pixar and had a whole separate team doing it and was really only created out of the need and necessity for money. So now that you've acknowledged that that was the birthplace of that second film, and if you like it, and if you think that second film is worthwhile, then maybe you should consider that the films that come after are not all just cash grabs, or if they are, could potentially lead to something good. I really hate it when people say they should have just stopped. They should have just stopped. Who asked for this? No one asked for this. Your kids did. And no one asked for the first movie. Okay?
Maybe
calm
not
down.
The kids, but all of our dollars asked for it,
all
unfortunately.
of our, yeah.
The fact that they're still selling full-on merch at Disney, the fact that people are still buying and watching and streaming, the fact that we're all going to see the movies, we or the collective we, if it's not you, are going to see these movies in theaters. Our money is speaking for us, unfortunately. But also, if you're like me and you kind of don't really care that much about this series, like, it's cool, but like you don't really rewatch it, and you do think that the last couple were like, we didn't need that, thank you.
Disagree.
This one was fun. I did enjoy this one, and it would be worth a watch, so go see it.
Either way, it's worth a watch. Challenge yourself, because I don't think sequel equals unnecessary.
A sequel equal unnecessary?
I don't think a sequel equal unnecessary.
Okay.
I think each sequel has justified its existence. And I would say Pixar is indefinitely more creative than the person tweeting on Threads that they have better ideas and that they should have focused on Slinky and Woody. Okay? So if you can challenge yourself...
Doing what?
I don't know. People are just lazy. They think a Toy Story movie just means let's pal around with these characters and nothing goes wrong.
And nothing can go wrong.
Oh, no, it all went wrong. See Toy Story 5 in theaters. We're not sponsored by them. That sounded like it was, but we're not.
If you want to see it when you feel like it.
And I feel like your kids will really enjoy it. Okay, Benji, spoilers. Let's go on with the movie. How does it start? First off, let's talk about two things, because it starts two extreme ways.
So the first thing that I noticed, like as soon as it started, was this team of buzzes.
Oh my God.
I was like, why? When they immediately, like, first off, I was like, this is kind of dark. Like, I thought they were all like dead bodies. Like, it looked like, because they were like in a crash from like a shipping container.
Yeah.
And so I was like, these things look dead. Like, this looks so like a horror scene out of like a movie.
Oh, it did. Yeah,
like a Final Destination or something.
So I had known that, by the way, the movie starts off with an army of buzzes essentially washing ashore.
They know this. They've seen it.
I don't know. They might not. They might be in spoilers because they're like,
if you haven't seen it and you're here, get the hell out.
But I knew that there was going to be an army of buzzes. Like, that was like one of the first things that was announced, but you didn't.
I didn't know that at all.
I will say, from your perspective, oh yeah, they definitely look like dead bodies.
Dark. I was like, this is dark. It feels like the beginning of like a fucking or the end of like a Final Destination movie or something. It was all like gray. Anyways, that to say, as soon as they all got up and started marching, I was like, why is this giving the fucking baby vamp army from Twilight? I was like, what the hell?
Oh,
and
man.
Then later, some of the things they did, like when they were at the campsite trying to rescue their other guy, and they all walked out of the water. I was like, that's directly from that movie. Like, so
do you think there was a Twilight fan in the animation room?
I think there's a strong possibility. Like, we were all like, I mean, The people that were that age enjoying it at that time would now be in the writers and designers room.
You know what? And you know what's funny is that would absolutely be a reference that someone could get under the radar.
Yeah, nobody would get it. And then somebody would be like,
they're just snickering in the background like,
is this not the scene from New Moon or Eclipse? I always forget which one's which.
Fucking Beavis and Butthead in the corner like, and then Andrew Stanton's like, what are you guys giggling about? They're like, nothing. Twilight.
I'm interested to see if anybody else, I'm sure somebody else will make that comparison, but once it's a little bit more out and people are...
it was reminding me of like Small Soldiers meets Lord of the Flies as these buzzes. And one of the things I knew, well, I was fucking with it from the very first frame. Like as soon as the movie started, I went, oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Yeah, there it is.
But there was a few moments specifically with Buzz that I could feel you kind of like perking up at. A little bit further in, the first time they all of them, because it's like literally an army of Buzzes. Maybe 50, but I can only count to 2. That's a line.
That's a line from the movie.
At one point, all the Buzzes freeze when a human passes, and then they ask themselves, why did we freeze?
And I was like, that's literally, first off, that's a big lore drop to have.
Yeah.
Like, that explains a lot of that says a lot of stuff. And I just watched a video like 4 days ago of somebody going, so, like, what is the lore? How do we explain, like, what brings a toy to life? Like, what's the distinction between toys and objects and those kind of things?
Right.
And they were asking about and they were kind of posturing about like, okay, how do we explain certain things?
Yeah.
And how do we explain like, why does Woody not remember his past, but Buzz knows who he is and thinks he's that person?
Exactly.
And do they all start like that or do they not? And if Buzz doesn't think he's a toy, why does he freeze? And so it was this like 10-minute video where somebody was like really like trying to like ask and explain and theorize. And so for them, when they go, why did we freeze? I was like, so they don't know they're doing it. I was like,
but then they say
it's somewhat automatic. It's somewhere in their core of being a toy. And I was like,
I always assumed that. I always assumed it was just like a thing they kind of instinctually did.
I kind of did, but I was like, it's just because I had just watched that video where they were like deeply posturing about that. I was like, whoa, because I'd been thinking about it way more than I ever have. Because in the back of my mind, I was like, well, yeah, he's a toy. He just has to.
Yeah.
But I didn't like deeply think like, what is the difference? Why is that? Where's the line of choice versus like, I just do this? Because they can reveal themselves. They did it to Sid, but they don't do it otherwise. So I'm like, so there is some level of choice there.
Also, that first movie was the first movie. I think a lot of people always forget that first movies kind of do things.
But if you're good at your job, which not to say you're bad at your job if you have to change some lore, but in general, something with this big of a team and this much money behind it, you should really be tracking your lore, especially lore that is the finale of your first movie. You can't just undo that. So that is part of the lore. They can reveal themselves if they want to. So it must be an instinct that they are later able to override, kind of like a wild animal who sees people and runs away later on.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, as they get more used to people, maybe they'll get a little closer. Maybe they're willing to walk up to a person. Like, so maybe it's instinct.
Well, I'm not saying it was override of lore, but it is override of importance to, or like what would make a toy choose to do that. Because I think, and when I'm rewatching the first one, I'm like, I mean, you guys have been in worse situations since.
And just smiled.
And for some reason, it was only in the first movie where Woody was like, I'm all out of ideas. I'm out of ideas. We're going to do the one thing we shouldn't do. I'm out of ideas. I'm out.
I don't have anything else.
And you know what? That's fine.
We're going to traumatize this motherfucker.
Yeah.
This little kid.
But the movie starts off with the buzzes. I will say my biggest critique, and it's not even really a critique, but if I was really to put on my critic hat and like try to join the other people who want to hate on this film and give them some sort of like, look, I understand. There was a little bit of contrivances in bringing the Buzz army into the story. That said, I'm all for it. I loved it. I don't care. Because like later on, I'm going to hop ahead a little bit with their story because it is kind of isolated.
Yeah.
The Buzzes, to your point, when they emerge from the water and they grab they're trying to rescue another Buzz who was taken by a kid. And so they all grab toys, very Small Soldiers like. Yeah. They look like they were about to murder those humans.
They were definitely about to kill those people.
They were about to kill them, and then they see the Buzz being read a story to, and he's just like,
so sweet.
I loved that.
Just the like warm little smile that he gives, like the, hey, this is actually nice. Like I'm actually really happy. Like it was just this like great like nonverbal communication where they all see him.
Yeah.
And it's like he like realizes like, oh, this is what it's all about.
Yes.
And they kind of even still being on their mission go, wow, that's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
Like, and don't even question it. They're just like, that's right. Yeah.
Buzz
and
is
then they
loyal.
move on. Yeah.
Buzzes are loyal.
I will say, yes, I do agree with that. I liked the Buzz Army, and I thought it was good to actually implement the popularity of Buzz because we always see a ton of buzzes.
Yes.
And like, so it's like at first the second movie, we get the wall of buzzes, but we don't interact with them. We get one buzz.
Yeah.
And then I guess third and fourth movie, we don't really hear about
no,
Buzz.
I mean, at that point, it's been like 10 years. So.
But it was like, I think the potential that I probably was way too far past what we could do in animation at that time to bring like 30 buzzes and go, yeah, there's a whole bunch of them and they're all out and they all have one goal. And let's see them as a team move through a forest of foreign land that they think is an alien planet. Like that was awesome. Like I loved watching them. Like it is fun watching a fresh out of the pack Buzz kind of like act like, because he is very well trained. Like he is. Like, so it's cool to watch him be efficient. It's just kind of like, damn, he really does, quote unquote, because he doesn't know where
laser.
He is. They're lasering people.
That laser gag. I don't care. It's funny in the first one a little bit, but it's also on the same level because it's like he's aiming at Woody, and you're more on Woody's perspective, where you're just like
this idiot.
Oh, this idiot. Yeah, but like. Ever since that first film, anytime Buzz, like a delusional Buzz, uses his laser, it's just the funniest thing.
It's
like
funny.
When delusional Buzz hits it on our Buzz in the second film, and he's just like, I don't have time for this. Like, that's hilarious because you're like, that Buzz really thinks he's doing something.
He really thinks he's doing something, and now that our Buzz is here to go, wow, like I was like that. Like that's literally.
And when they all just like do the little laser, it's the sound, it's the fact that it looks like an act, like, because I think technology's gotten so good, it really looks like a toy's laser.
And I'm wondering what they think is happening because their laser is not. Do they just think this thing is indestructible? They're like, oh man,
I think so.
I bet. But when they first started walking around, I immediately turned to you when the first Buzz got up. I was like, oh, they want to sell new merch.
Oh, they do,
because I was like the screen in the middle, like the new textures on him. I was like, okay, they're posturing to sell new toys. And I was like, so the whole time I was like, okay, realistically, that's okay. They just added a new few textures. There's a little screen. They can do that.
Are you gonna hop ahead to the end though? Okay, let's save that.
They were in the water, and I was like, okay, so now those buzzes have to be waterproof, you guys. Like, I was like, I understand in the first two, not even three, the first two movies, you made a toy that was cool. You didn't think about the practicality of it. You were like, we'll sell some version of it. But now you know you have an audience that wants the movie accurate toy.
You gotta do it.
You have to do it. So don't write something that you can't make. And right now you have a toy with a screen on its chest that is also waterproof. So you're really skating the line. I don't know if you guys can do that, but look, it's Disney. Maybe they can. But that's what I was. Every time the buzzes were there, I was like, okay, can they do that? Can they do that?
Wow.
Will they be able to do this? That was my thought. Also on that point, them improving the animation movie after movie is always interesting because I feel like you always get like a new depth or texture to something, which is cool visually. But then I'm like, that means that all the things that you've been selling us are inaccurate now because Jesse's hat is felt, and we all know that every toy has a plastic hat. Every toy that I've ever seen.
I will say, and I don't want to get too far off of this because we should also get into the main plot.
Right.
They have been slowly changing these toys each film because, I mean, if Woody and Jesse are kind of like from the 50s, then the quality of their toymanship should be a lot better than what they've kind of introduced in these later films. Because I think like Woody's head gets rolled over at one point, and I think it was like a solid head in the first film.
In the first film, it squeezes, doesn't it? And he goes...
No, that's in the fourth film. So someone, I think I saw threads where they were like, it's interesting how the toys have started being more reminiscent of modern day shitty toys than they are of the periods they were made in.
Have been like solid rubber or something?
I don't know. Like, or like, have you ever played with like old toys like from the 50s?
Not that old, I don't think.
They're sturdy. Yeah. There's a reason why you still find those shits around everywhere.
He's still around?
Yeah.
I thought he was fragile. I thought they like weren't as good as
I never imagined porcelain. I don't know the actual texture, but I've definitely played with those toys. It's like those old dolly toys.
The porcelain dolls?
Where it's like, no, not porcelain, because that would break. But like those old dolly toys where like obviously the body is like is cotton, but there's like some firm, like it's plastic, but it's like solid, or I don't know what it is. Let me know in the comments if you're like a toy maker. But yes, the textures are interesting. That was like, because obviously this movie's very photorealistic. Obviously the toys are toys, but they're in an environment that looks very real. Especially, I think this film. Now, I love the fourth film. I think that what the fourth film does perfectly is the mechanics of the toys. Like when little Officer Giggle McDimples, when she's like hopping around, she looks like what that toy would look like hopping.
A little flea.
Duke Kaboom? I think Duke Kaboom, like every time he falls, he feels like a plastic toy falling.
That is just getting, The
fourth film, I think, has the best in terms of physics. This film is the best in terms of dimension and perspective. I think when you're at eye level with these toys, you really feel like, and also because we saw it in Dolby, which had like the same size of like an IMAX film. And so it's not widescreen anymore. It's back to kind of the almost like 4:1 image frame. But it you said, I know what you're saying. But it made it feel like the world was big around them. Like you would see the toys and then you would see the environment they were in and it felt like, oh shit, I feel small. This is the first one I felt like that.
Especially dealing with that damn horse. I was like, whoa, that thing's too big. Let's get away from me. That was cool. No, that to say though, I'm just thinking of merch and marketing. And I think that it is not fair to the people who already bought these toys or who have had these toys or who are like going to the parks and seeing these toys that they don't get the one that is on the screen. Why did you put her in a felt hat if you're selling plastic hats? That's all I got to say. Anyways, go ahead.
I think it's appropriate that the majority of us talking about the Buzz subplot is us talking about merch. Because as much as I love it, like I said, my biggest criticism was that at the end of the day, that whole subplot could have been removed. But why would we want it removed? Why would we want it removed? It was so much fun. So let's get into the real meat and potatoes.
Main plot, sorry.
We start off with Jesse's flashback, obviously, when somebody loved me, but not, what is her name? Carol?
Oh,
Emily.
I was like, Carol. No, I haven't.
Obviously, Jesse is still reeling from that, and it's really interesting to watch her kind of deal with the trauma of Emily having left her behind and having forgotten about her, and now, oh my God, the same thing's happening with Bonnie. And I think that does play well into kind of her motivation and her kind of desperation. I think it's the first time since the first movie for sure. I think they did it a little bit in the fourth movie, but they relate a character's past to how they're reacting in the present. So watching Jesse just felt
in the fourth movie.
That's what I said. Like the fourth movie did it pretty well, but this one felt like almost like the first movie. We're watching Woody react to Buzz felt so felt so alive because it's like, I don't know, I'm right there with him. Like, oh my God, get this fucking toy out of here. It just felt so like, I felt so connected and visceral with Woody's plot in the first one. And this one in the fifth movie, watching Jesse react and like almost like respond to that trauma. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm right there with you, sister. Like this is like, I get it. I get why you're so driven to do everything you're doing. Probably more so than, I feel like the Woodies, the Roundup gang, they're passionate. They're very passionate. Like, Stinky Pete, he went through all that trouble to be an asshole. Jesse,
you're like everybody. They are dead set on their convictions.
Like Woody has done more than any toy has ever done.
Yeah, true.
Like he will flip flop his way into like they're all always doing side missions. No other toy seems to do side missions.
That's true.
But Woody's like, I'm going to daycare with Bonnie. I'm going to help her make a friend.
For real.
And then Jesse one-ups and goes, I'm going to actually make her a real friend.
I'm not going to build it. I'm going to find it.
Which I think was a great plot because it involves the humans a lot more than they've ever been involved in this.
But that brings me to a certain point. Is Bonnie don't pay no damn attention to where her toys are.
She's ADHD. She will literally. She is ADHD.
She'll be like playing with her toys, and then she'll set them down somewhere, pick up her lily pad, set it down on the bed, and then walk away, and then come back. Lily pads on the floor. The toys are flung in the window. Like I'm just like, girl, Where did you leave those? They weren't there.
Benji, she is unmedicated ADHD in 2012.
Sure.
She don't got no TikTok.
But also, the parents and the adults in this
They don't have
universe
TikTok either.
Also very negligent in the fact that
Of
toys
course.
are just flying around. Messages are getting sent back and forth. Nobody's checking the message history. Like, I didn't send that, Mom. Like, what? Why are we so fast and loose? They've gotten very, very fat. They've gotten very casual about these toys manipulating the world around them in very provable and clockable ways. Because in the first two movies, they were very like,
you say this, but we also just talked about how the first one ends with toys literally coming to life.
Yeah,
so
but
are they fast and loose?
That was their choice. But I'm saying when they're trying not to be caught, the worst thing they did in Toy Story 2 was at the end when they were trying to get out and he walks in and they have to pretend that they're like back in the crate, but they're like still a little bit out of the crate and it just looks like, oh, like didn't I have them in? And I remember as a kid, I was always like, that's not where you left them. Like, how did those toys move? But whatever, it was one moment. This happened like 12 times in this movie. Like every time these kids would leave the room and put the toys somewhere, they would come back and the toys were in a different fucking spot. Like I would be insane if that was me as a kid. I'd be like, they move. See, there, they move.
That's why I think these toys only do that around ADHD people, because
Goodness
then we're just there going, they moved.
I feel like I have.
I don't know if they move.
I feel like I
hate myself
a
now.
level of ADHD, but I have that like ADHD where it's like, you know, the like chaos ADHD where it's like, I know that this toy is under the counter where I dropped him. They're under my desk because I dropped them there and they're next to the paperclip that I left there so that when I come back, I can pick it up. Like, I'm like, I know. So when I come in and I go, ooh, where's Buzz? And I go, oh, right. He's behind the bed because when I was playing with him the other day, I threw him like he was flying, but then he hit the wall and fell behind the bed. So he's going to be behind the bed next to the other thing. And then I go there and he's not there and he's sitting neatly on my shelf and be like, you weren't on the shelf, you little shit. How did you get over there? And I know my parents haven't been here because they're at work right now and I'm the only one home. Why are you on my shelf, Buzz?
Who would have thought in the, how many years have we been doing this? 6, 7 years now at this point? Yeah.
6, 7.
That the Toy Story films would make you the most passionate.
I wouldn't have put any money on that.
But I guess one of our first major podcasts where you got shouty was when we talked about the ending of Toy Story 3. So
that's very
I guess
true.
I'm not surprised.
That's
anyway,
true.
So the plot is that Bonnie gets a new lily pad because she's not making physical friends.
Yeah.
Because Bonnie is strange. She's a little neurodivergent in a world full of people who are obsessed with their screens.
What stinks though is that she feels like she's strange just because, not even because she's like neurodivergent or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, I know it was like coded and that's the way.
Very coded.
It's coded and you can read it that way. But I was like, it also just feels like it was like she's the product of a bygone era where it's like, yeah, I still play with physical toys and that's not cool anymore.
But that is a lot of the neurodivergent kind of, that's one section of the neurodivergent story in which things that work for the mass majority of people don't seem to work for you. So you tend to kind of stick to something that has been like, you know, that does get passed along. Like, in fact, being ADHD, like one of my biggest issues is the fact that the world moves much as fast as I move. I'm very chaotic, but the world develops faster than I do. So it takes me a while to like come to understanding like certain things. And so I didn't want to drive until I was 19, basically, and my parents had to kind of force me to get a driver's license.
Why? You weren't going anywhere?
My friends would pick me up, and it's not like they would. We all lived so close to each other. We weren't doing crazy stuff. Like I basically could get dropped off or take a ride somewhere or walk to a friend's house. Like I didn't need to have a driver's license.
Wild. I can't imagine that. I was like scratching for a car.
I also didn't want a phone for a very long time. I didn't like having anything in my pockets. I was pretty much, I was fully content being picked up by my friends and going seeing movies or walking to a movie theater and just messaging them on AOL Instant Messenger.
That's wild.
So when I tell you I was like Bonnie in that first half, I'm just like, why don't we want to fucking play? Who wants to go see a movie? And they're like, movies?
That's true. You did have, what was it, your 27th, 28th birthday, and you wanted to play games in the park like Red
I
Rover
wanted to do
and, like freeze tag and stuff, and everybody was like, we had a great time for a few games.
Yeah, but I had to convince
and then you wanted
people
to keep going, and everybody's like, can we go inside?
I was like, I had planned this.
So
it was called Slumberfest. It was my first annual Slumberfest, of which I haven't done any since.
Oh man.
But it was called Slumberfest, and the idea was that it was a big sleepover event of like everyone hanging out and doing stuff that they would have done when they were kids.
Yeah.
So it started off with us playing tag in the park, and one of our mutual friends to this day still makes fun of me in a fun way. But he's always like, when it's quiet, he'll just go, "Anyone want to play tag?" And I'm like, "Fuck you, Mike."
Is that why he says
That's
that?
why he says that.
That's so funny. I thought he was just kind of saying something random.
No, he says it because I was forcing everyone to play tag, and everyone was looking at me like, "Why are we playing tag
That's a great
in the park
callback.
at like 27, 28?"
Here's the thing. We played and it was a great time because you had a bunch of people and you were like, whoever wants to go to the park and play
I didn't
games.
have I had a bunch of people show up at the
event,
overall event.
and then you still got like 10 to 12
No,
people.
there was only 5 of us at the park at
I
the beginning.
swear there was.
No, it was a small. There was one frame of a picture, and it's like you, me, Mike, I think Jordan, and maybe 2 other people, and I don't remember who they were.
I just remembered it being like, look, we had a decent amount of people. I guess it was only like 6 people.
Barely.
Or 5. I just thought, I was like, hey, we got a good amount of people at the park, enough to play a couple of games. We played a couple of games. Then the sun went down. His birthday's in November. It got very cold and everybody was ready to go inside, and you were like, no. And I was like, buddy, they're like 30. Like half these people are like 30.
Well, that's the neurodivergent experience, let me tell you. So I get it. So Bonnie is a little behind on the times.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jessie, motivated by her own past trauma, wants to help Bonnie connect with the people around her. They're not connecting with her. So her parents literally connect her with them by getting a lily pad. And what's fun, what I wasn't expecting was that obviously the trailers make it seem like Lily Pad's going to be a villain. She's just again, I said this, they haven't come out yet. If you watched our Patreons, great. Every villain, a lot of the good villains are just warped versions of our heroes.
I will say, I was going to say this earlier in this, when we were describing things. This, and it occurred to me just now, sorry. This reminded me a lot of Inside Out.
Yes.
Especially like,
oh yeah,
Lily Pad.
Joy. She's like Joy.
Yeah, Jessie is Joy. Lily Pad is anxiety.
Oh, well now this movie's not good because it's just a copycat.
Now it's a copy, but I think they did it really well, in its own kind of external way.
Well, the thing though is, unlike Joy, because Joy has a very specific, Joy is very much like Woody in the first one.
Right.
They're more
right.
self-focused, but their self-focus is less about I'm the top toy, and Joy's is I do what's best for, who are these girls in these films?
Riley.
Yeah. Look at you.
I got it.
So Joy does what's best for Riley. She just doesn't know the fact that like she's a little one track minded.
Yeah.
Jessie doesn't give that to me. Jessie has trauma.
Yeah.
So unlike Joy, where it's just like I'm doing what's best, Lily Pad reminded me of Joy and anxiety put together, where it's like I have a mission and I'm not going to listen to anybody. Jessie does know what's best for Emily. God damn it, I'm combining these kids. Bonnie.
This is too many. I was gonna say
too many gay-coded girls.
I was gonna say girl names, and then I just was gonna say names, and I said games. Too many gay, and then I was like games. Too
many
but
games.
Then I said gay because
Too
I
many
stopped
gay names.
myself because I realized I started wrong, and I was like too many gay.
No. What's unique about Jessie is, again, she's motivated specifically by her own past. She does know what's best for Bonnie, but she learns to kind of, I guess it's very similar to Joy. You're right. I just felt they did do it a little bit differently. I wouldn't say it's a 1-to-1.
I don't think it's a 1-to-1. I just think there's a solid comparison there to go.
Yeah, that's true.
The villain that is mainly anxiety, because it's like Jessie is like, she's kind of like Joy, but she is more of like a traumatized second movie type of Joy that's been through something that is like now like, okay, she's trying to do what's best for Bonnie while also tackling her trauma and trying to protect herself. And then you have Lily Pad, who comes in, is just brand new to the scene, is kicking doors down, like, yeah, I know what's best for Bonnie now. And it's like, why would you know what's best for Bonnie? You don't even know her.
Yeah.
But it's like, to a certain extent, she wasn't wrong. Like, there were certain things that she was doing that was getting Bonnie kind of what she thought she wanted.
It is, yeah. It's funny because what you're basically saying is like, just like in Inside Out, where the moral is we kind of all need to work together.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the theme of this movie, where in the end, technology is just an extension of friendship.
Yeah.
It can't be the one thing that fully consumes
be all of
you.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, she does introduce anxiety into this girl's life.
Yeah. I will say I felt very called out when Bonnie went to the sleepover and they were all just on their phones not talking. And I was like, well, me and Josiah do that sometimes.
Yeah, well, we also, our entire friendship is either us hanging out and talking on camera or us hanging out and talking in front of everyone else, to which they always say, hey, this isn't
Shut
you
up.
on camera. So the few times...
I know, but the few times that we're alone and we could talk, we're just on our phones.
That's not true. I ranted to you yesterday. What was I ranting to you last night about?
Oh, wait, what was it? It was something.
God, I wanted to get it on camera too because I was like, that's funny, but it wasn't relevant in the slightest.
Yeah. Was it about this movie? Or
no, it was about some other movie I was ranting it to you about.
No, but yeah, I think I just thought it was funny. I was like, obviously we talk, but like for a second I was a little like, hey, that's okay sometimes.
Yeah, no, like I said, the movie does start off with a very broad stroke boomer take on technology, but as you see it directly affecting Bonnie, because again, when you show the wide shots of everyone on their phone and the screens are glowing through the windows of every house, you're kind of like, okay, boomer,
it's not that bad.
But then when it zooms in and kind of shows like specifically how it's like ruining Bonnie's life, that's when I went, okay, that is
okay, boomer, you got a point.
You got a little bit of a point. Excuse me. God, I got the burps. But yeah, so Lily kind of comes in guns a-blazing, not pun intended. Simultaneously, Buzz is, for some reason, on a 10-year, I don't know how to tell Jessie I love her kick.
Right. But to flash to the end really quickly, when they do finally get married, like I turned to you at the end. I don't know if you heard what I said, but when they finally get married and they toss the bouquet and Bo Peep catches it and offers it to Woody and is like, what do you think? And he goes, and I'm like, bitch, you've been talking to her for 30 years. Like, y'all have been dating for 30. What the fuck is your problem?
Look, canonically, probably only 10 plus years, not 30. We've been hopping around the timeline. Just because these movies have taken 30 years doesn't mean they've been 30 years. And secondly, I think these toys, being children's toys, take a much longer time to develop
30 years
adult
is crazy.
Feelings. 10 years.
20.
10.
It's at least 20.
Again.
Because that's from 90, what is it, 92, 97? When's the first one?
95.
95.
And then we follow them in real life to 2010 when Andy is in, so maybe only 5 years. And then this film, Bonnie, is
it's like
1995 to 2010 is when the third 2010 is when the third movie happens.
That's 15 years.
No, is that?
Yeah. 2005 would be 10 years from 95.
Yeah, okay. So
and
10 years.
2005.
No, hold on.
2010.
No, wait. You're confusing me. 1995. You're right.
I know I'm right.
It's 15 years. Okay.
15 years.
It's only 15 years.
And
then Bo disappeared in those 15 years. Okay? And then he only re-meets with Bo and he changes his entire personality like a year or two later. Okay? So it's only been at most 17 years. Of which he's only spent maybe a collectively 5 or 6 with her. Okay? And again, these are kids' toys. They are not fully developed like 30-year-old humans. They take a while to get around to their feelings. And for some reason, this movie doubles down on the men characters being a little bit more like, like
needing to be pursued.
Yeah.
Well, Buzz for sure. And I did love that they put Buzz more in the traditionally like feminine role.
I love that.
Of kind of being
he's very masculine.
Yeah,
when he's doing his own shit.
That's what I think is funny.
But
is
in
like,
a relationship, he's
like this space ranger. Like, I'm this guy and
he's
got all
competent.
this training and he's competent. But then to be like, like when Jessie kisses him and like kind of twirls him and like holds him. And he's like,
he loves that shit.
He bit his lip, like, or when they kissed and his little leg popped. I'm like, I'm dead.
His plastic leg
love
popped.
that. But yeah, no. Regardless, I don't think they're developmentally like slowed down.
I don't know.
They're adults. They're always doing what's best for the kid because they're more mature and more responsible. I think at the end of the day, in the 4th movie, he left everything and everyone he's ever known, loved, and cared about for this woman. Why are you not able to commit to her?
He's committed to her.
I submit to the court that Woody's a fuckboy.
No,
he's not a cowboy. He's a fuckboy.
I submit to the court that is an antiquated tradition, that is a human-born thing to have marriage and to and combine two people together in what? The state? Like, you think that they have tax breaks?
If it means nothing to them, then why won't he do it?
It means nothing to Bo. It meant
something to Bo. She offered him the flowers.
She clearly said, cowboy. She's the more traditionally masculine one.
No, she offered him the flowers because she knew
it was a joke.
She knew it was a joke because she knew he wouldn't take it seriously. She knew it'd freak him out.
No, it was played off more
It's like when I say, when you're like, where are we? Do you know where I'm going?
No.
When we're like, where are you going to eat? And I go, Cheesecake Factory, to piss you off because I know you're going to say no. But if you ever said yeah, we'd fucking go.
Look. Rewatch the fourth movie and you watch it. See, here's the thing. Most of people's criticisms of Toy Story movies comes from people who've only casually watched them, and like maybe they know the first and second one really well, but they don't pay attention to the lore that's actually being developed. Bo is very much an independent woman. The entire fourth movie is Bo Peep basically spouting out like she does not subscribe to the traditions that are expected of her as a woman. Like, that is a very clear analogy in that fourth film. She's like, I'm free. I'm doing my own thing. I'm not dependent on one kid. I've lived my life kind of free of this thing. I can do whatever I want. I submit to the court that Bo's a fuck boy.
No.
So no. I'm actually being dead serious. Like, if you can't just do these casual criticisms and not pay attention to the story that's being developed. I am paying attention,
and you know what else? How long were him and Bo in that house? We don't actually even know how long. They were in that house together for a while before she got sold.
He says in the fourth movie that she came in after that Bonnie, after what is the side character?
Oh God, the little sister? No.
Yeah.
No more names.
Yeah, we can't.
The little sister.
After Andy's little sister was crying, they develop it in the fourth one. Again, if you actually pay attention to the story.
They did say that.
So they've only been together
a few years.
She's in the second movie, so little sister is still like kind of a baby. And then she's gone by the third movie, so in the Andy would have grown how many years? 5, 10 years?
He was like 10. It was his 10th birthday party in the first one? Yeah, or his 8th?
Yeah, 10th. I don't know. So let's just say 10 years. Let's say collectively 10 years.
A decade.
They've been together less than 10 years.
A decade. They were together
we don't need to focus on this, Benji.
This is my last point on why.
Oh my God.
On why Mr. Cowboy is a fuckboy.
He's not a fuckboy.
It's because what were her sheep's names?
Okay, that's true.
Exactly.
You didn't remember the damn
Fuck
sheep's
him.
name.
After a decade, you can't remember Billy Goat and Gruff, the 3 most important things in your woman's life?
Okay. All right. You got me on that one.
I know.
But he's not a fuckboy.
He's a little bit of a fuckboy.
He's not a fuckboy. Have you seen him with any other toy?
I don't know. No other toys gone after him, really.
When they were all heading through the Inferno, everyone had someone's hand to hold, except the only one Woody's possibly a fuckboy for is, and let's say it all together, Buzz Lightyear
of Star Command.
And that is the only fuckboyness I will subscribe to.
Sure.
He's the only person that he outside. There's Andy, there's Buzz, and then there's Bo Peep.
Oh, sad. Bo Peep comes under Buzz.
I think Bo Peep is okay with that. I think Bo Peep is an independent woman. She understands that their friendship is very important.
I think the only reason Buzz is over Bo Peep is because Buzz was linked to Andy. If they were separate of each other,
it's like
all 3 of them were hanging off a cliff, he'd save Andy and then Bo.
It's like the fact that
Buzz.
You're my best friend, and just because I'm dating someone doesn't mean you get pushed down. That's unfair, and that's some bullshit.
Yeah, but it's true.
No, it's not.
I mean, yeah, but it's like, time-wise and priority-wise, you can't, it's the time comes out.
All right, we've been talking too long on not Toy Story stuff.
What else happened in this movie?
God damn it.
So the lily pad comes and is trying to make her friends, and she's kind of succeeding, but in a very 2015 superficial social media way.
So the kids don't want to hang out with her. They make fun of Bonnie. Gotta stick these
Bonnie.
They make fun of Bonnie for playing with toys, so Bonnie puts her toys away, and then Jesse and Bullseye get, let's say it together.
Wait,
Lost!
I was like, what?
They get lost. They're lost toys.
They're lost toys. Now, for this one, I will say, out of all of the movies that I've seen where the toys get lost, this one did not bother me as much because of, I think...
Because it didn't bother them.
Yeah, I think we had the rest of the cast together at home, which I guess that happened in the first one.
Yeah.
But I think them being lost felt a little bit more necessary. It felt a little bit more her choice to like go pursue this kid, kind of.
Yeah.
Like she ended up, and I think
And she,
also
by she you mean Jessie, right?
Jessie.
Okay.
And I think the fact that it's like, okay, she hopped in the car to go go watch them or whatever, and I was kind of like, I don't know what your plan is there. And then she gets, picked up by the old couple who
You're breaking up with me?
Oh my God, right. And then takes her to the old couple that's gonna take her back to Emily's house.
Because apparently Jessie has always had
Emily's address just chilling
on the inside of, what are those called?
her chaps.
Those chaps?
On the inside of her chaps.
I love the term chaps. I don't know why.
Because it chaps my hide.
It chaps my hide.
Except it doesn't, because that's a bad term. But
why?
Not a bad term.
Is it a racist term?
No. I mean, it's like it's just it chaps your hide.
Well, I love that term.
Chaps your hide is you don't like something.
I know, but I love that term.
Yeah,
chaps my hide does not chaps my hide.
There you go. That's right. That's say. So
she gets returned to Emily's address.
And the way we both looked at each other with our mouths agape, our jaws dropped as soon as they go, oh, the address is here, let's take it back. And we both go, it was crazy.
Because we did think that she was going to go meet Emily.
I thought she was going to get taken back to Emily, and that would have been crazy. I'm a little bit sad that didn't happen.
I'm, of course, you know me, a contrarian to the end of days. I'm happy we didn't see Emily.
I think there's I understand more or less why we didn't. I think the little bit in me that still is salty and thinks that the toys should stay in the family is like, oh man, that could have been cool. But whatever. For those who wrote Toy Story 3, I understand why they wouldn't have done it. For those who wrote and enjoyed Toy Story 3. But they took her back. And I think her being back home, quote unquote.
Yeah, it didn't feel like lost as much.
Yeah, it wasn't like I'm in this scary, dangerous place where we have to get back or we're going to be lost or sold or destroyed. It was like I went from one safe kid's house to another safe kid's house that I have history with. Yeah. And now we're like...
That kid's name was Blaze. I
thought I was mishearing it the first few times.
I was like, you got a little black girl named Blaze? That might just be the coolest kid in existence.
Crazy.
Who plays with toys still?
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And as soon as she
I won't forget her name.
And the last friend,
Bonnie Riley. Them's names all getting a little conjumbled together.
But Blaze is that sticks out. And speaking of sticking out, I asked you, is this the first black person we've had?
For sure, the first black character. Like actual character in a Toy Story film. I'm trying to remember. I keep remembering the black kid from the end of Monsters Inc.
I think there was a black kid at one of Andy's parties.
Yeah, but it was just Andy in blackface. Like back then, it was
they could only change the skin tone.
They were like, we not doing another model.
We cannot.
We gave you Andy's mom, and we give you Andy, and they are horrifying looking in that first.
We're not making any more kids.
No, I don't. I think this is the first actual black character in a Toy Story film.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Loved her. She had her bonnet on when she was sleeping. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
I think being like in this weird amalgamation of we're at another safe kid's house. We're not at like a Sid's house.
Yeah.
We're not at a store where we're going to get sold. We're not in a trash chute. They
don't have to escape.
Daycare. Yeah. She doesn't have to escape. She wants to escape.
She's to get
out,
back.
But it's like being in a safe place and also in basically what is her backstory.
Yeah.
Made it very interesting to watch. Like I was kind of not in this, and I feel like these movies give me anxiety, and maybe that's why I don't like them, because I'm like, and I don't not like them, I'm sorry, but it's like maybe that's why I don't rewatch them, because I'm like, it's just stressful. Like it's always we have to escape something, or we have to like not get thrown in the trash, or it's always all of this shit. And with this one, I was like, and like with Toy Story 2, like it was he was with the chicken man, but he also was chilling, and we were getting his backstory, and I felt like that's kind of what we had here.
That's true. That is very well. I mean, it's it's poetic that, of course, the story that continues Jesse, or the film that continues Jesse's story would harken more back towards the second
movie. And I think what's even better than Toy Story 2 is that this is not new lore. We get to explore something that we've known about for 15 years at this point.
Speaking of which, you know what gave me the most joy in this film?
What?
Is that Jesse really does have a way with critters.
Yeah.
Even if they're real life.
With the pig and the horse.
I was like, that to me was my favorite lore expansion of this whole film, is like, she's not scared of critters. She saw that giant ass horse and said, "Bullseye!
I got a great idea."
And I was like, that's phenomenal.
She didn't do her call though.
She didn't. Oh, she didn't do her.
Yeah, I don't know why she didn't.
I mean, I think she's like 80. The actress is now 80 years old.
Oh, we could get a voice actor and modulate their voice.
Don't you fucking say that. Don't you say that about Joan Cusack. She will do whatever
You just said she can't do it.
Yeah, but if she doesn't want it, if she can't do it, no one else does it. I'm not insulting her. They could have just also reused her audio.
They could have used the old one.
It's fine.
It doesn't matter.
That
was a side note.
That to me is my big issue with most criticisms when it comes to like Toy Story films, is like simultaneously people will go, these movies are creatively bankrupt. They just do the same thing over and over again. Why couldn't they have just ended after the first one? The third one was the perfect ending. You can't keep blah, 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 blah. And then in the same breath, they'll go, why aren't you showing me the same characters? Why aren't you doing the same things? Why couldn't we have just spent it with our buzz? I'm like, so what do you want? Nah. Do you want the same thing over and over again, or do you want these things to be unique? Because in my opinion, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the second one, every single one of these Toy Story films justifies their existence by doing something a little bit different. And the biggest complaint people have are people who are just like, I think the second film sold people on this ensemble coziness of nostalgia, and the fourth and the fifth movie do a little bit to challenge that by not focusing on the same two characters. And instead they go, this story is the most relevant to Jesse and Bullseye. We're going to focus on them.
Yeah.
They are important, and we are going to introduce new characters that are important to their story. That's why I loved Forky in the fourth movie, because Forky is a perfect extension of Woody's own existential crisis. I love it. And I think I'm glad that these toys have been allowed to kind of expand past, like, our only existence is for these humans,
for the kids,
because I think the first movie had a good balance of like, Andy's important, but he's not the end all be all. You're not going to existentially destroy these characters every time they decide to play with another toy. In fact, the first movie is about Woody needing to get over himself and realizing that, hey, if Andy plays with another toy, that's chill. But then the second and third one's like, damn, these characters have some fucking existential crises. So that's why I like that this one, I won't spoil it yet, we haven't gotten there, but I love that this one kind of leans into Jesse needing to kind of be like, I need to get past my trauma. Her trauma's real.
Yeah.
But it's her having a new perspective on it.
Yeah.
That helps her kind of move past it.
Yeah.
I love that. All that to say, I'm fine that she didn't yole hee-hoo, but I also understand that is a little bit of a bummer because she was on a fucking...
Yeah, she was on a horse, but I don't think she was ever... Because the first time they were on the horse didn't really go where they wanted to go.
No.
The second time she was like running away. She wasn't really happy. The other time when she was with the pig was like at her in her mouth.
She was...
So I was like, there was never really a triumphant moment on that horse.
No.
Outside of maybe the first like 10 seconds she was on the horse.
And she said yeehaw, which I was happy with.
Yeah, that's where I first kind of went, oh, but the yodelay-hoo, and then it went the wrong way, and I was like, well, that ship has sailed now.
Also, her yodelay-hee-hoo is her summoning.
True, that is also true. I just feel like, we love to have these characters do things that they do, and it's all nostalgia. I'd throw it in, I'd squeeze it in somewhere, but that's also not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I don't care.
It's realistic. Like, she's comfortable with critters. They like her, but she doesn't like control them, mind control.
Yeah.
I appreciated it. I thought that was my favorite aspect. Genuinely, if you asked me what's your favorite takeaway from Toy Story 5, I was like, it's the fact that Jesse got to interact with critters.
Yeah.
Like, yes, obviously,
that's really
Jesse's
funny.
Ending, won't get there yet, but Jesse's ending, top tier. But mainly, I was like, I just like the fact that she was in her element.
Yeah.
Like, Jessie was hanging out with
She's
critters
on a
of all
farm.
kinds.
That was cool to see her
on
a
farm.
Yeah.
She was hanging out with Bullseye.
Yeah.
She was hanging out with, what was that?
Bullseye got to be with a real horse, too.
Bullseye got to be with a real horse, and she even had all the other toy horses. This is the first time we've seen toy horses.
Yeah, that was great.
I was like, she was, like, in her element in all areas. I loved the side characters, too. We get to meet all of the, what are their names? There was Smarty Pants.
The little
Conan
semi
O'Brien
technologies. Yeah. Smarty Pants, which was some sort of potty training robot. I don't understand what that is. Like, I was like, I guess I missed that era of technology.
We were really young.
Our
bums knew what to do.
Yeah, and then my little
These
brother,
new kids, they need little instruments.
But I'm like, my little brother, I would think would have had one of those, but I was like, I haven't heard of that. But I guess maybe that is still newer. But also because it did have like Wi-Fi. It had the ability to send things. So I guess that would be like from like maybe 10 years ago.
I like how he was drunk if he wasn't on batteries.
That was really funny.
I will say, if the only thing that really upsets me lore-wise, like I just go with the flow. I don't care. I'm like, the toys come alive because they mean something to kids. That's all that matters. The only thing that kind of bothers me about like the lore that's a little kind of amorphous. So do toys come alive with or without batteries? Because there are toys that don't have batteries at all and they come alive, but then there are the toys that have batteries. They only come alive when the batteries work.
I think maybe that's just...
And it doesn't actually bother me.
That's a good question. I think it's just that. Yeah, I think
it's just the only thing that kind of... it's the only thing that ever... I kind of like... I'm in the movie and then I go outside of the movie go, wait a minute. And that's it.
It might be something that is like a... kind of like it's a limitation in itself that is like... is like
it's an extension of them.
Yeah, like
the batteries matter to this toy, so that way
so it matters, and also the progression of technology is maybe as you have less imagination to bring the toy to life because it does more, then it requires more outside energy outside the kid's imagination. Something like
that. Clip that. If you get like clip that little piece for TikTok or whatever, because that's some good interesting lore development, Benji.
Maybe.
I like that. So if the toy uses less creativity to be created, then it needs more power from outside sources.
Yeah.
A kid's love won't do it.
A kid's love won't do it if the kid doesn't have the imagination to make the toy run by itself.
Also, whatever's powering these imaginations also wants you to pay for their subscription service. Subscription service. Right. Jesse's on the farm. So Jesse realizes very quickly that Blaze, the girl who lives on what was Emily's old farm, which, by the way, that farm is expansive.
It's massive. Also, I didn't realize the tree was on their own farm, and I don't think that's the case.
I was gonna think the same thing.
I think that because obviously, if the thing was right there and she got left, she could have just run back home.
She didn't get. Oh, you're right.
She got left like right next to the tree.
Oh yeah,
they drove off.
Oh,
so maybe the lore is they were moving, and then maybe she came back. No, later.
She was in the car with her, smiling, and then she got dropped off and was like, "Oh fuck, I got left behind."
Because she thought they were going back to the tree.
Maybe there's more than one tree with a tire.
I think no. But maybe she just accepted it. Maybe she, like, as soon as she got dropped off and she hadn't been played with in years, she was like, yeah, I guess she's done with me.
No, but you're right. They literally were in the car driving to that tree.
Yeah. Like, that tree was a walk, and there was a road near it. I think maybe on the other side of it.
You wouldn't have gotten in your car.
You wouldn't
have. To drive to
because you would have just walked over
tree.
the hill. Yeah.
Oh, shit, Benji. This movie's the worst.
I was kind of like, oh, that's cool that the tree is on the farm. We're going to see, like, every part of her backstory, but that tree was not there.
Hey, you know what, though? Unreliable narrator. We didn't actually see that event happen.
We didn't see anything.
Saw her memory of that event.
That's true. That's true.
That's what I will say. Like, God, it's funny because we talk about the movie and then I take a little asides to talk about how I feel when it comes to people reviewing things.
Yeah.
I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, lore things like that, like small missteps, I'm like, as long as the singular movie does enough to establish because that's my biggest issue too. Like, with Marvel films, I feel like they always kind of drop you into they only take place at the time that they take place. They don't reestablish anything. So if Captain America has an issue in Captain America 3, you're just supposed to have watched the first two movies.
Yeah.
They don't reestablish anything. They don't like recontextualize. They don't like usually do flashbacks, which is something I love about the Toy Story movies. Just because they established Jesse's trauma in the first movie, second movie, doesn't mean that they can lazily just drop us into her story in this movie. they go back to it. They re-show it. They re-establish it. They almost like this is its own movie.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have watched.
Mm-hmm.
You should watch the second one to get this one a little bit more like weight, but you don't need to have watched it because they do enough to like, they show it again. They show how she's been affected by it. They have her explain it. They have her react to it. This movie exists on its own. So therefore, I don't care about whether or not the tree was on her farm or not on her farm. It's not important to the emotion of the story. The emotion was she got left behind. It
bro.
Sucked.
They dropped her off. They said
that's
bye.
all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to get like all rinky dinky over lore, like, well, technically this home was like, it doesn't fucking matter because it doesn't change the emotion of any of the films.
It doesn't. Like, she could have left her in the backyard and never spoken and left her in a box in the backyard and it would still be the same story.
Yep,
you know?
exactly.
Like, it's just, it doesn't matter where she was left. The fact is she was fucking left.
So that's not a real criticism to me because all that tells me is that no, these filmmakers cared enough to make a story that makes sense for right now. Mm-hmm. It doesn't betray the lore. Yeah. It maybe betrays the logistics.
But I'm so down for something to, as long as the lore can stand. I'm like, as
long as the emotional lore can stand.
Yeah, I'm like, as long as I can kind of go with it and go, sure, maybe she's misremembering, or maybe, you know, the road was on the other side, or it was just easier for them to kind of, as they were driving out of the house that day, to kind of pull past the thing, drop it, and keep going off to wherever they were going that day. Maybe, like, whatever. I can think of a billion stupid reasons that it would have gone down the way that it went down, but ultimately the emotion is the same. So I don't care.
No, I love that. And agreed in the sense of, I don't remember what I was going to say, but yes, agreed. I fully agree with you. Where did we leave off? So Jessie is in the house. She sees that Blaze, the little girl who lives on Emily's farm now, plays with toys. Yeah. And is a little bit of a weirdo. She's weird.
I will say, when she was like, Emily plays, like, she's creative and she's funky. And I was like, you saw her talk to her pig. Like, I guess that was enough for her to realize she's kind of creative. But I was like, she didn't play with a toy yet.
She said she plays in a little bit of a creepy way. She's like, oh, yeah, she plays.
Oh, she
and
plays. And I was like, oh, okay. Y'all didn't want to do a second take on that one?
You didn't have to say it like that. No, but I think that was good is like Jessie made her play.
Yeah.
But she saw the potential there because she was like, and that's what I thought.
She's known kids.
It could have been a coincidence. Like, oh, you just happen to be brought to the house of another kid who just happens to be good with Bonnie. But then I thought about the fact that this is a family that lives on a farm.
I know. I thought that too. I was like, it kind of raises a kid who's a little bit more grounded, I think. A little bit more isolated from other people.
Exactly.
In like a good and bad way. A good way in the sense that you're not being influenced by a bunch of people telling you need tech.
Yep.
And in a bad way of she didn't have a lot of friends either.
Yep.
Because she's not around a lot of people.
That's what Pixar does well. Like it has little contrivances. Like obviously the biggest contrivance to me personally is the fact that we ain't never seen that address before on her chaps.
Yeah.
But also, I don't care. You know, Madagascar 2 had a whole plot point about how Alex had a birthmark on his paw that made him match with his dad. And I was like, that birthmark wasn't fucking there in the first movie. And it bothers me to this day. But then I also think about how much I do like the second Madagascar, and I don't give a fuck.
Why wouldn't they make it like a mark like in under his mane or something? I was like,
for those on the podcast, I'm just staring blankly at Benji because I don't have an answer.
I mean, you could do that.
I was just listening.
Like, wow, that would have been an easy solution.
You're right, Benji. Damn it if you're not right.
I know. That's what I was thinking with the chaps. I was like, at least it was faded. I was like, okay.
Faded.
You can say, I know there's a certain point if we watch these again that we'll look under her chaps and see nothing.
Oh, no, for sure.
But you could have had it be like a little further inside her chap, like maybe up higher. So it's like, oh, we wouldn't have seen it. But if you look, it would be, it doesn't matter.
I remember what I was going to say.
It doesn't matter.
I remember what I was going to say, and it's actually relevant to this. I think of it as the Bible. You know, it's just like every chapter is different. The lore kind of changes. There's inconsistencies between each chapter, but the main thing is there's a different person writing each book. It's all the same story. It doesn't contradict itself in terms of the morale or the morality. The Bible. The Bible is contradictory in terms of, well, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But it's also evolution. It evolves.
Yeah.
It's actually not that contradictory if you don't have some racist in your ear spouting one scripture as the most important thing. We're not talking about the Bible.
I was like,
the point is, the Bible is well regarded, but every chapter is a little different because it's written by a different person. So different details get brought up in different things.
And then they're like, surprise, remember Adam and Eve? Well, this thing happened there too. And you're like, what?
So
Adam had an address in his chaps? Since when?
On his assless chaps because he was naked.
Say, the biggest lore drop that I got about Christianity, sorry to side note this.
Oh my God.
And I felt fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I know what you're about to say.
I
know what you're about to say.
I went to every one of my friends because everybody's Christian and everybody was just like,
we're not anymore.
Yeah, you didn't know that? And I'm like, no! Why didn't I know this? Is that Jesus has siblings. A lot of them.
Not if you're Catholic.
Okay, then I rock with them because, like, what the hell? Everybody's like, yeah, James was at the crucifixion. I was like, oh, was James at the crucifixion? Oh, was Marcus at the Last Supper?
You didn't know about Marcus Christ?
Was it Jeremy at the fucking nativity? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, why are you just making shit up? James and Jessica Christ just hanging out when he's healing the bed, breaking the loaves and the fishes, huh?
How did we?
Are Michael and Michelle?
Can you tell me the exact trajectory for us doing a Toy Story 5 review that ended in a Jesus rant?
That was crazy.
That is a Popcast exclusive.
Oh my gosh.
And that is a Popcast guarantee. We'll always find a weird tangent. So
Toy Story.
Blaze, black girl, creative, loves her animals, so cool. The toys.
We're coming to a close here, by the way. Sorry to keep you.
We're coming to a close.
Yes.
The toys start working together. Something I really liked. Obviously, Pixar is very good about having villains and then not having villains. I like that when Pixar has villains, they've got villains. They are nasty little motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they just have antagonists, they're also so unique. Anxiety is a great example. Anxiety is a phenomenal antagonist.
Yeah.
Probably the best part about Inside Out 2. Lily Pad's not the strongest antagonist ever, but she's also not. She's just a stepping stone. This film did have a lot going on, a lot.
I feel like it was balanced really well.
It was very well balanced, but I think this was the most Toy Story. This might have had the most of everything.
There's a lot of toys.
There was a lot of side characters. You notice we haven't talked about Woody.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even think we'll get to him because so much happened. I already said my piece. I said my piece.
I'm fine with. If this was Jesse's story, unlike a 30-year-old well, I am a 30-year-old. Unlike a 40-year-old man-child who doesn't know how to evolve with the times, am fine with Jesse being the center of attention. And I'm fine with my favorite characters being sidelined in order in
I mean, Buzz is always sidelined anyways. Buzz is never the lead. Maybe for Toy Story 6, he'll finally get his own lead story.
He's like, wait a minute. I am a toy.
And he's
what?
You know that already.
What?
I want to see him find actual Star Command.
So anyway, Jesse's interacting with the mechanical toy, what are they called?
Oh, the training,
what are they called?
Devices.
Tech.
The device.
Jesus,
the
yes,
tech
the tech
toys.
devices.
Yeah.
They don't know what play is, so Jesse gets Blaze to play with all of the toys.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
That was fun.
Love that. Bullseye talks for the first time.
It was cool to see
their perspective.
It's always cool to see, not cool, but it's interesting to see a different kid's take on each toy.
Yes.
Because even when Bonnie played for the first time, she switched it up a little bit. And then Blaze came in and really...
Oh, she was all about the danger.
That's why she's called Blaze. She set that shit on fire.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, you think that Jessie's a cowgirl and this is her noble steed?
Nah.
She's a spy princess and this is her contact.
And
they're both at a ball dancing.
I know. I felt a little uncomfortable when they were so close romantically. I was like, whoa.
I was like, oh, that's her horse.
Whoa.
Chill out.
Whoa. Whoa. Do you know who did the voice of Bullseye?
Oh, no.
What the fuck was that?
I was trying to recreate, but I didn't have any words.
It was Alan Cumming.
Alan Cumming, I know that name.
Queer Scottish icon, Alan Cumming.
Alan Cumming.
Yep.
Our very own Mr. Flu.
Yep. He did the voice. And that got spoiled for me. Fucking Threads.
I
was
would
so
you have
annoyed.
recognized it?
No, God, no.
Yeah.
And I thought so too, because I was a little annoyed. I will say, that's the thing. Oh my God, I'm doing it again. So as stuff started to come out about this movie in isolation, everything kind of seemed like, yeah, you can make a hot take about how dumb that is in isolation. Even when I saw like something, this will be the first time Bullseye talks on camera, I was like, that feels a little kind of like
weird.
I don't know. It just feels like a little try hard. But then you watch the movie. I couldn't recognize that it was Alan Cumming. It felt natural. It was like a fun shock.
Yeah.
That probably came as a shock to you because you didn't know he was going to talk.
I had no clue.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So much of this movie works if you don't have fucking Threads or Twitter in your ear.
Just watch it.
Like bitching at you.
Yeah.
Like fucking shut those old ass people up and just watch this on its own. It's a great goddamn movie. There's so many fun surprises. Anyway, let's get back to the thing.
Anyways.
So Blaze plays. Sorry. Jesse and the toys, they connect with Bonnie. Hey, your toys are lost. They get Bonnie to come over. Bonnie is still traumatized by the fact that
they're laughing at her
that
for having
her friends are laughing at her, so she rejects Jesse and Bullseye.
Yeah.
Jesse has to go through that rejection all fucking over again.
Goodness.
And so let's get to the most important part. She gets on the horse. What is that horse's name? I'm not gonna remember. It was something like Buttercup or something like that.
I think it was something like
Biscotti?
No, it was something like Buttercup. Oh, that was close. That might even have been it, but I think it was. Just keep talking.
Anyway, so she gets on the horse and she rides over to the tree that her and Emily used to hang out on. And she has a little, I will say, they made it seem like this big moment, like Jesse's running away. She's like, I've got to go. It almost was like, and I can't say it because we're putting this on YouTube, but it's almost like she's going to have an unaliving moment or kind of like a, I'm taking myself out of the equation type. And then she just gets on the horse and rides to the tree that's like a block away. And I was like, guys, it's chill. She's just having a moment. She'll come back.
Maybe, or maybe she's going to go be a lost toy.
It's true. But it's also, I think maybe if she had just done it on her own, but she got on the big ass horse that we saw go to the tree.
It might have been Butterscotch.
Butterscotch. I think it was Butterscotch. What did I say?
Buttercup.
Okay, it was
I
Butterscotch.
was like, that's close. It was something like that, yeah.
But yeah, so Jessie, she has this like big moment that I was like, oh, this is the moment she's gonna do something crazy, and then she just runs to the tree. I'm like, okay, chill. She needed a little moment.
Yeah,
she needed a little break,
and then that's where she discovers that her girl Emily, she was kind of like, man, I'm all lost again.
And we forgot to pin on that. You'll continue it. But we also forgot to mention that throughout this entire film, Jessie keeps saying, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
That, even saying it now, I don't like it. It's giving me chills because it's like, obviously.
Also, you don't like when kids are left out, and that kept happening a lot.
Fucking hate when kids are rejected. I remember even when my dog, I brought her to the dog park, and no dog was playing with her, and I just saw my tiny little bucket in the middle of the dog park. No one was playing with her, and I was like,
why?
My toy, my dog.
I was like that. No, that's sweet. And there were times where she got rejected, and I already felt that was sad. And then I feel like I also put more weight on it because I know how much it bothers you. And then that made me kind of be like, oh God, oh no. We were both kind of tearing up.
I hate watching anybody get rejected. It is hard. Not
as a parent, you're going to have to hide that.
I don't want kids for that reason.
I was like, if your kid comes up and is like, Daddy, no one will play with me. You can't be like, I'll never let anyone talk to you ever again. You'll never have to leave the house.
So I will say, like, the song, I don't think it's ever affected me the same way it's affected other people. I don't think it's stupid. It's a great backstory. It's phenomenal. I don't hold it against Toy Story 2. It's never hit me that hard, but hearing her articulate what's wrong with me that I'm not a good toy.
That every toy
fucking wrecked me.
People keep leaving me out.
I hated that. So anyway, that's what we've been building up to.
From she goes back to the tree where she was left, and she sees the Jessie was here.
Yes,
and she's like, "Oh, the hell is this?" And then there's like a lunch pail buried in the sand.
Yep,
in the dirt, and she opens it and sees basically it's like a.
They're not things that she knows.
She doesn't know these things, but it's kind of like a time capsule. And she's looking through and finds out that her Emily named her daughter Jessie, presumably after her, and that completely like changed everything. And she was like, wow, I did have an effect. And as much as I was like, that's so sweet that she gets this closure after all this time, I'm like, she still gave you away, girl. Like, part of me.
So that's what I love about this film. This is what you'll never appreciate about the Toy Story films. To me, they are the strongest when they're not leaning into the trauma of a singular kid being the most important thing in your life. What I love about this film and what the moral is that we are there in their lives when they need to be, for what we need to be there as. I'm butchering that. They say it much better in the film. We are a part of these kids' lives for as long as we need to be. Mm-hmm. What I love about it, what I've liked that these last two films have kind of moved away from, is that the only reason for a toy to exist is for them to be attached to one human. And that's like, to me, that is just a recipe for trauma. That is a recipe for unhealthy relationships. What I like is, what I think that the third one did kind of well was establishing more that they're almost like omniscient or silent parents in the sense that they help raise these kids, but it's also part of their life to kind of move on. And it's not just like, the toys get a lot of joy out of it themselves, but just like in any relationship or any parenting, it's like, your goal is not to be attached to this thing,
yeah.
you know? And I think that's what's good. I think once they related the toys to more a parental figure, that's when I think I started clicking with this series, because that's, to me, that's the healthiest view of it. Because as a parent, you are taking care of these things. You are finding joy, you are finding love, you are having all these amazing memories, but the moment that they become autonomous and the moment that they need to move on, you need to move on as well. And I think that's what I love about the later films, is that they lean more into that aspect. So for me, is it a little unrealistic that, because again, the backstory we saw, but then again, maybe an unreliable narrator might have just been her own trauma. But the backstory that was established is that Emily loved Jesse. Emily forgot Jesse. Then Emily saw Jesse as a teenager adult, and then Emily immediately gave Jesse away.
Yeah.
So with that lore established,
somehow named her daughter after
I
her.
like to think of it as, again,
this was a significant part of my life.
Even if she didn't consciously do it.
Even if she subconsciously was like, well, Jesse's a really pretty name.
Exactly.
And didn't think about,
I think that's what, again, if you're looking at it as like, this is my lover, this is the love of my life, that's a recipe for disaster, because it's a one-way street. Mm-hmm. But when you look at it as more of a parental thing, like we influence these kids and then they go off to be their own people, that to me was so touching, because it's like, it was Jessie kind of like removing herself from this trauma of, no, you're broken and you can't keep one kid. It's like, you're never supposed to keep one kid.
Yeah.
And you did have an influence, even if it was subconscious. To me, that made the rest of the films feel so much more like healthy, because I do not like the idea that these toys are just sitting in the closet being like, as long as one toy plays with me, as long as one toy plays with me, I'll be okay. I was like, no, your validation should not be tied to one fucking thing that doesn't even know you exist.
You're
wiping my spit off your legs. Sorry.
No,
get really passionate.
After watching all of them again, I will say I'm less offended with that premise, and I get it more. It makes a little more sense. I'm a little bit more disconnected in the sense of, it has to be Andy. You know, we've had some time to get over it. I'm a toy in that sense, where I go, I guess it doesn't have to be one specific kid. So I think that also made it easier this time to watch this one, because I wasn't in this like Andy-centric Toy Story 1 and 2 headspace.
Interesting,
but that being said, I agree with everything. I agree with everything you're saying, but can I just say what my stupid little, irresponsible one kid per toy brain wishes would have happened for Jessie is that they took her back to the house, and this little girl answers the door, and they're like, hi, and she's like, I'm Jessie. And then Jessie gets picked up and she goes, Mommy, somebody brought this toy. And she's like, my Jessie doll, I lost this when I was a kid. And she gives Jessie a huge hug, and it's Emily. And then we have a flashback, and she's like, wait, Mom, how did you lose it? And we flash back, and she's like, well, when I was a girl. And she's like, she fell behind the bed, and she just had so much going on in her life. And then when she found her again, she was like, let's go, let's be together again, let's hang out. And then she takes her to the thing, and she's like, all right, this was my like goodbye. And she puts her in the box, and then she puts the box away, and then they drive off, and you see obviously the picture of the thing that we saw with Jessie, where she looks out of the hole of the box and they're driving off, and then she gets put on the truck and driven away, and then they cut back.
Oh my God.
And the car turns around. She's like, Mom, no, I'm not ready to give away my Jessie doll. I still love her. And then you get this sad scene of her like crying and be like, I'm sorry, sweetie, she's gone. And she's like, no, Jessie. Not all that, but And then she's like, oh, I've been looking for her ever since. And they're back together. And then, you know, her daughter is like Blaze, where she's like really, she's playful. So then she becomes friends with Bonnie. So then we get to watch this kid grow up, and we get to have Emily and her daughter back in our lives while also getting Bonnie. We just get everything we've ever wanted all together all at once.
You get everything you've ever wanted.
Hey, Jesse would want that too. As much as we're right about, you know, yes, you got to move on, she'd want that. Anyways, I understand that is immature, and that is this sweet little.
Why do you insist?
Hey, don't adjust my mic.
Look, I don't want to be dismissive. It's like because
I will say that would be sweet. I don't think that's the right thing technically for the story and for the emotion and for being a mature, well-adjusted adult that can move on and understand that we're stewards of these kids' lives for a certain amount of time. Then they have to move on. I understand that that's not the way to go, but I still just say that would be sweet, and I would like to see that theoretically.
Let me tell you, verbatim, almost exactly ver-fucking-batim. All of that plot line flashed through my brain when we got brought back to the farm. I was like, oh my God, it's going to be all of this.
That's what you thought would happen.
And I thought to myself, I don't want to see that. I was like, maybe
I'm sure you didn't.
I will say,
I'm not saying it's
I will
right.
say, I would have been happy to see Emily if they did something other than that with her.
Well, I was like, that was my like fever dream. Like, oh, this would be the best possible outcome for just my own personal nostalgia of what I want these kids to be. And then, what's it called? And then Andy shows up and he's like, wow, I'm the computer guy. I work here. And these are some of my toys. And my son wants to play with you guys too. Anyways,
I'm so fucking glad you're not in charge of telling the stories at Toy Story.
That's my immature fever dream. No, but that to say, what I realistically thought was going to happen, I thought that she was going to see Emily again as an adult.
Yeah.
And she was just going to be like, oh, wow, I really missed this doll. I loved it.
Yeah.
And get some kind of thing there. Maybe almost like what happened with The Pail, where she comes in and is like, the little girl's like, what's that, Mommy? And she's like, oh, this is my Jessie doll.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, that's who you're named after. Jess. And she goes, my name's Jessie. And she's like, yeah, that's who you're named after. The lunch pail. Like kind of the situation where she finds out that, and she goes, Mommy, who's that? And she goes, oh, this is Jessie.
You
and
thought you would have the same type-ish ending.
Almost like that.
But like physically there.
But physically. And then they're like, oh, well, we have to give it to somebody so some other kid can have it.
I can't spoil the ending of a movie you haven't seen yet, but there's a movie that does something similar to that that we will eventually watch. Look away for a second. Let me. Well, are you gonna watch this? I don't want you to spoil yourself. You're not gonna watch this, are you?
Well, if I watch it,
you'll look away.
Yeah, I'll skip 10 seconds.
I guess you can't really read lips. I just realized reading lips is hard.
You gotta flash it on the screen. Also, we're in a podcast, so you can't even do that.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, here's the thing. To respond to that, I'll try to keep it quick. I don't have beef with people who love their toys. I know if you watch our Patreon reactions, again, I was a little belligerent. We were both a little belligerent. We both had some alcohol in us. We were getting a little bit more passionate. Ultimately, I don't have any beef. I get that. That is a very saccharine, very beautiful ending. I understand why that's what some people would want. For me, I've never clicked with Toy Story when there is an importance put on toys that is just goes beyond what makes sense naturally. Like, to me, it's just plastic. It's consumerism. It's plastic. I don't think there's anything wrong with an adult collecting toys. I think that's really cool. We have friends who collect toys. I do collect some toys.
I collect toys. What toys do you collect?
I guess I collect more Blu-rays and like small like figure. I have certain things.
I
have some small things, but like there's not like I don't have an aversion. Like there's nothing wrong. Like at one point I do want to get a screen accurate Buzz. Like do not get me wrong.
They can't make it.
I know, but the moment they get close enough, I will be buying, and I will spend a lot of money on that just because I've always thought that is the coolest fucking toy ever. So I have no issue with adults liking toys, but to me, I just think there's something kind of weirdly destructive about a plot line that essentially says like, it almost makes me feel guilty from moving on from my toys, like let alone how the toys feel. But I feel like there's something like as someone who is very much, I don't know what's her name. What's the woman's name? It's like, does it bring you happiness?
Marie Kondo.
Marie Kondo. As someone who I pretty much kind of subscribe to that. I clear out my apartment.
You do.
Every
You
4
really
or 5
do.
months.
He resets and resets his closet.
I reset
every,
my clothes.
6 to 8 months.
I donate my clothes. I don't donate my toys. I donate my Blu-rays. When we are at Kura rotating sushi and I get one of those toys because we put in a lot of the sushi plates, this means nothing to someone
It's
in
a
the middle of fucking
buffet.
nowhere.
It's a buffet, and they
It's a
reward
sushi
you for
buffet.
eating a lot.
They reward you. They give you little toys. I always grab the toy and I look around, and if there's a kid around, I hand the toy to them.
And that toy's like, when somebody loved me.
I only had you for 5 seconds.
Everything was beautiful.
So for me, I have never liked the toy from Toy Story 2 on. I never liked the idea of being made to feel guilty for moving on. To me, I'm
it sounds like you just have guilt, and that's why you don't
I have
like
zero
it.
guilt because I don't want to play with my toys anymore. And for me, I'm that's fine if you do. I get it. And if I have kids, there'll be moments where I'll be oh, I'll buy a new toy, but there's no emotion there. If I buy a new version of a Buzz Lightyear that probably doesn't have yellow artifacting and it still works better and has batteries that actually work and is updated.
You can change the batteries.
There's nothing to me. To finish my point,
I know.
I don't like the idea that I should be made to feel bad because I just so happened to give away the one toy. I don't like that toy might be pining over me. So that's why I think there is something healthy now about the way we've leaned more into. We had amazing moments together. I'll never forget that toy. Those toys did. I have toys. There are 2 toys I do specifically have, mainly because they just remind me of that point in life. If I realize that they were alive and I haven't been playing with them, I hope to God that they ran away and found better kids. But if they don't exist, then they are just a moment of a memory. That's great. But if a toy's only purpose in life is to be played with by one human, I hate that. I would hate that for my toys. I feel bad for them. I don't like being made to feel bad about that because it's not real. And it just feels like Disney trying to say, let's sell more toys and make people attached to these one things and never get rid of them and add more.
Well, what's funny is realistically, it like you were saying, it's consumerism and plastic, and also
it's almost the opposite.
It's the opposite, and the same for trying to sell toys. It's actually, if you're convincing people to keep their toys,
True.
It's actually much more environmental to keep your toys and pass them down.
But they're not selling the environmental part. They're selling the attachment part. And that's the part I think is kind of, that's the Disney part where I'm no, don't sell, that is the most consumerist part of it that I feel is untalked about when it comes to these movies. They're essentially selling you on feeling bad for plastic that they produce and make you buy. And like you said, not even screen accurate, but they make us feel attached to these things, even if they don't look anything or do anything like the real version. I'm still mad that there's not a Woody with a pull string that actually goes that far. It's always,
right, yeah.
I'm I can't lasso anyone with this.
I remember when I first saw them in stores, I was oh my gosh, these are the real, and they're the full size. And I went to pull his string, and I was that's not a pull string. That's a button in disguise.
That's not pulling. That's pushing.
That's pushing with style.
No, so for me, I like that we've leaned more into these are beautiful moments. We share memories and we get to make new memories. I like that. That's why I will never harp on Andy for giving his toys away. I understand why toys are very specifically important to you.
Yep.
I won't harp on you like I did when we drunkenly were arguing, which was a lot of fun, mind you.
Right, I know. I'm just in general, I'm I'm a bit of a hoarder. Not a hoarder.
You're not a hoarder.
But I do like to hold on to stuff because I am very I could need this later, or this is nostalgic to me. I try not to keep things past what I have space for, but I do squeeze things in a lot, and you're the opposite of that. So,
but I do think that I think these films, if again you don't have someone bitching in your ear, I think these films do balance that. I think they're very good at kind of doing both. It's there are people who keep toys and there are people who play with toys, and it's I do think maybe now that there's not canonically a single character who's ever kept their toy into their adulthood.
Yeah.
Now with Andy having given away, maybe that's a little bit of a bummer, but I think the sentiment is always there. He did still care about it. You saw him play with Bonnie.
Yeah.
I think the sentiment of they don't demonize any adult for loving their toys. I don't think they're saying get over it, Junior. Again, because they want you to keep buying their shit. But that's another podcast for another day.
Yeah.
But they don't demonize it. And I think there's a healthy blend. It's like there are the people who need to move on, and then the people who want to still enjoy the nostalgia. Mainly they're banking on the audience enjoying nostalgia, so they'll keep coming back, because this movie is easily going to be in the billion movie mark.
Yeah.
It's already like at 71 million. It's big. That being said, let's get into the final act. What happens?
The final act, the whole army of buzzes.
That was a contrivance. They look at a photo of Jessie because it shows up on the lily pad. She's got a star. They go, Star Command. I was like, bit of a stretch.
Hey, look, it's a bit of a stretch, but if there's one thing that we've established in all 4 movies, Buzz is efficient, but that nigga is slow. Like
I was going to say Buzz.
Oh, well, that too. I was going to say number 1, Buzz is not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, number 1. And number 2, Buzz loves Jessie.
In
he
all
thinks she
iterations.
is gorgeous. No matter what setting he is in, he thinks she is beautiful. So, of course, they saw her and they were like, oh, right, that's the Queen of Star Command. And they were
love that.
Pledge their loyalty immediately.
Best lore expansion is that no matter, like, we got it in the 3rd one when Buzz was in Spanish Buzz.
Yeah.
When Buzz was even in like villain Buzz,
right?
He was like, you're bewitching good looks.
Right. When they reset him,
I remember in the theater, I went, oh shit, Buzz just likes Jessie no matter what.
Jessie, like that's specifically.
He is her ride and die. Like
ride or die, yeah.
That's why Buzz never cared about Andy. Jessie is Buzz's Andy.
Yeah.
He even says that in this one. He's like, there is no Bonnie's room without Jessie. And I was like,
oh, what's going to happen if they get separated?
See, that's okay. Well, it'll be harder, but they're in a relationship. They're in a two-way.
Mutual.
They're in a mutual, like he can talk to her. He can't really talk to her, but that's another.
He'll get better at it. All that is to say, they all pledged their allegiance to
Buzz,
Jessie.
Yes? No, that was for me. It was for me. That was I'm the Buzz.
I'm the Buzz. And then they all help her fix everything when she realizes, like, no, like we need to make this happen.
Obviously, it's not a Toy Story movie without a chase scene and a car at the end. Wait. First movie ends with them chasing Andy's car. Second movie ends with them chasing Jessie's plane.
The plane.
Third movie ends with them in the trash compactor. That's probably one of the most unique. Fourth movie ends with a lot of things. Actually, the fourth movie has one of the more kind of somber and climaxes where it's about getting what's her name?
Gabby.
Getting Gabby to a person. I really like the fourth one's ending. But the fifth one said, let's bring it back to basics. We're chasing a car.
No, exactly. On their Legion of Horses, which, by the way, don't let me catch that Pegasus. Don't let me catch that Pegasus.
Shit, don't let Buzz catch that Pegasus.
Don't let me catch it
he said,
in Disney, wherever.
He went, oh.
I let the Pegasus saw and was like, yeah. I gave him the wink. Was like, yeah. I'm here. That's me.
God.
Yeah. So they chased down Lily Pad, who basically threw Lily Pad
again.
threw themselves in the trash.
Unaliving part.
Yeah, I kind of was like, I'm done. Which I respect the fact, not the unalivingness, but the fact that Lily Pad was like owned up fully to the fact of,
yes,
I really ruined this kid's life. I gotta go. Like I have to get away from this kid because I'm making her life worse. I was like, I respect that you're not just like, man, well, whatever. Like you can still play your games. It was like, no.
Because at the
I'm
end of the
gonna
day,
separate myself.
She is still a toy, and I guess a toy's biggest
the loyalty is they're
like
destroy your kid.
The best version of a parent.
Yeah.
In fact, again, if you look at it as a parent analogy, they just have an instinct to protect and keep these kids safe. Some of them even just know how to do it better.
Even if they're misguided. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they find Lily Pad on the truck
on a donation truck.
Yeah. And then we get the big reveal.
Oh God. Are we going to talk about it where they all get stuck on the truck. They're on the highway.
They're stuck, and look,
a legion of buzzes and all of the toys join in. It was a little unrealistic and fucking hilarious that every single toy, including the potty trainer toy, they were all like, we're going.
Yeah.
Doesn't fucking matter. We're all involved.
They needed the whole crew. Which
I love
was
that.
Great. They were on a legion of toy horses. When they got on the truck and they got lily pad, I was like, okay, cool, we're done. And then it got on the highway and I was like, part of me felt like I was like, this is where it leads a little bit too far into this, and we're gonna be stuck trying to figure out how to get off this truck on the highway.
Oh my God.
And it's gonna take a while. It's gonna be like even in Toy Story 2, the part with like the belts where they're like trying to find the right.
Yeah.
I was like, this kind of drug for me.
I like those moments, but I understand why those are the moments you don't like. You're not really into action scenes.
I'm not into high action. I'm not into like stressful suspense. I'm just kind of like, look, we chased him down on the highway. That was the suspense for me. We got to her. Let's be done. Let's get home. And I was kind of like, now we have to figure out how to stop the truck.
Oh boy.
Somebody's got to come around and like scare the guy or like get us off the highway.
Nope.
Something. And then we realize that these, by the way, Wi-Fi enabled. That's another thing.
Lily pad sees the buzzes, scans the QR code, updates them.
But the buzzes have Wi-Fi capability, as in like they are their own hotspots. Another thing that has to be added into the toy now. By the way, when they said that back there a minute ago. And then, so she activates fucking drone mode. The buzzes are drones.
They fly.
They fly. For real. They really fly, which I was like, that's such a great...
when it was gonna happen,
many levels.
When it was gonna happen, I was like, I'm getting chills. When they were like, when she said, "Oh, wait, what? Turn around, let me update you." I went, I think we both knew they were gonna fly.
I wasn't sure what was gonna happen. Actually,
I knew. I was like, "There's no way they're not gonna fly. They have to fly." But I was like, "Look, I'm gonna go with it. It's the wings are gonna come out. Like there's gonna be a little bit of a jetpack.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's gonna be a little unrealistic. I'll go with it because I'm excited." Maybe this will be something I'll criticize later, but in the moment right now in theaters, this is fucking dope.
Yeah.
I'll go with it. I don't care. And then they turned into drone wings, and I went, wait,
holy shit,
that's realistic.
That's pretty realistic.
I mean,
it's realistic in the sense that the leaps that we've made in the past for these toys, we can make that leap.
We can make that leap because drones exist and they could carry a buzz.
Yes, they absolutely could.
Be packed away in the back of his pack?
I don't think so. But again, what I was saying, lore-wise, now the new buzzes not only have to be waterproof hotspots with a screen on the front. And by the way, we haven't even mastered the whooshing helmet. So we need...
The helmet does that whoosh thing.
We need that. And we haven't had a fully collapsible helmet either, ever.
Yeah.
So those... And now they have to be drones with wings that completely fold and retract into his jetpack. Good fucking luck, Disney. Because we expect that now.
Good fucking luck, because the moment that it's out...
If you make it, I'll pay $1,000 for it, free and clear. I will not, I won't fight you. That's $1,000 toy. It's not. I was like,
this might be the first time I don't...
in a world where it's not an amazing prototype, but prototype-wise, that's $7 to $1,000 easy.
I might save $2,000 for that. I'm not joking.
He's gonna drop a $2,000.
I'm not joking. I do not care about bullshit like this. I am not one of those people that is really so like I only buy things that are like function to me.
Yeah.
But if you tell me there is a screen accurate Buzz fucking Lightyear that genuinely flies,
Drone Lightyear,
and does the woosh thing,
yeah. He's gonna drop $2,000 on Drone Lightyear,
and even if
I won't fight you on it.
If it's $3,000, I'll corner that.
I'll put in so that I can come by once a month and play with it.
Yeah, you will. That shit's
funny.
Going up in the air. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
I'll wait on that wait list for years.
I'll wait for your love.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Don't
man.
even catch me. I had to, like, the amount of money I spent on rebuying my PS2, on rebuying my Game Boy Advance. Look, let me tell you something. If there's one thing I'll agree with you on, it's I wish I would have kept certain things because I wouldn't have had to spend the money again.
To buy them again.
But there's no guilt about me traumatizing anything. There's not a Game Boy Advance out there that is crying over me.
That you know of. We don't know.
Look, I
don't know if our love has brought inanimate objects to life yet.
That's the one thing I guess, because I forgot. I don't necessarily collect toys, but I do recollect my
electronics.
My PS2, my Game Boy. I got an analog pocket in there. Oh, I love me some old gaming shit. And I wish I would have kept some of that shit because it is expensive now. I had a WarioWare game, and that was only produced in Japan and America. It was not produced in the UK, so therefore there is less on the market, and it is fucking expensive. It's like at least $100 for a cartridge that's maybe beat up.
Yeah.
Annoying. Anyway, So that's it. So the buzzes pick up everybody.
I will say, not only was I like blown away that they were flying, because when she scanned the code, I was like, are they going to interact with some sort of virtual star command, and it's going to be this like full circle moment for Buzz? Like, where are we going with this? And then the wings popped out, and I was like, oh, they're going to fly. And then I thought the same jetpack thing, and I was like, I'll just go with it, but whatever. And then when they actually flew and they started picking everybody up and leaving, I was like, obviously we both were like, oh my God, they're flying. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah. But then when they like, I also in the back of my mind was like, thank God we're just finishing this. We're not having to do the whole scene of how do we get off this speeding truck.
They were like, we've done this enough.
I was like, good. We're just going to fly away. Easy. I love that. And then we obviously got the call back of we're flying. We're flying with style. I was like, fantastic.
Woody, you could have technically cut Woody out of this film.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have necessarily needed to keep him.
But we needed to see him.
But you know what? Fuck you. Sometimes I agree.
Fuck you. That's your theory.
No,
fuck
I know.
yourself.
Fuck me. Fuck you. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at me right on camera right now. Fuck you, Rizzo. What do you mean you're gonna get rid of
I was
Woody?
like, everybody else is look very in the camp that we want to see the old characters.
Look, I, as much as I can argue that the script takes precedent over the characters, or the script should dictate the characters. Also, fuck you if you think there's going to be a Toy Story movie without Woody at least cameo.
No, we got to get a cameo. Stupid question, because I'm not recalling fully. Was Mrs. Potato Head in this?
She was, but the actress also died, unfortunately.
So
a lot of the actors, Slinky, Jim Varney died.
I know.
Don Rickles died.
Did Slinky say something?
Slinky said a lot in this one, and the voice actor was getting...
I
don't think I heard Mrs. Potato Head say anything, but she was playing the organ at the wedding at the end.
Because when I thought back, I was like, wait, did I see Miss Potato Head? But she didn't talk. That's why I'm not remembering.
Yeah, she didn't really say anything.
Because
she's also one of the loudest characters. I love her.
I know. She's very distinct.
Let's top them!
That's why I was kind of like, wait, I don't even remember she was there, because her voice would cut through everything, and I would hear it. I would remember it.
Potato
That's okay.
Head.
She'll speak
I want to remember her original voice.
She'll speak in the next one.
No, she won't.
She will.
Oh, you mean like...
Yeah.
Estelle Harris, obviously. God, she was awesome. Let's adopt.
Oh, is she?
She's
that the
Muriel
mom?
In The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
That's. Oh, okay.
She's also Estelle Constanza. You don't watch Seinfeld, so it doesn't matter.
But she's not. Okay.
But Estelle Harris, she was a loss. But again, as these actors die, I'm okay with them moving on to other characters as well, because I'm like, I will always have. She is probably one of my favorite characters in the second and third one, just because her voice is so fucking funny.
Yeah, she's fun. She's great.
She's and
you love the packing Mr. Potato Head gag from the bloopers.
And yo-yo. Well, for the monkeys, of course.
Oh my God,
her voice is fantastic.
Right.
Dead on. The movie ends with Blaze and Bonnie becoming best fucking friends. Best friends. Holy shit!
And the two neighbor kids that Bonnie was afraid to talk to ran over at the last second and played with them.
Because it's like an infection.
Yeah.
Both things are infection. Play is an infection, or tech is an infection. Ooh. These kids are just like mindless beings. They're like, which one's gonna take my attention? The toy or the tablet? The toy or the tablet?
Well, I think we had a good balance of both. We had a good combo.
Which, by the way, to articulate what we were saying, the moral essentially was that
you can't stop progress, but you can work with it.
Tech can connect people. And I think it's good because it didn't feel like it even leaned into the whole thing I hate about AI, where they're always just like, progress is progress. You're the one progressing things.
Yeah.
We don't it's always rich people telling us, you gotta progress.
Can't stop it.
You can't stop progress.
You actually could.
You could stop. You could stop this annoying progress. I mean, Sam Altman, literally the guy who created ChatGPT, literally said, man, people are drinking too much natural water. And we don't have enough for our AI.
And it's like, did you ever think that we don't need AI, but we do need to drink fucking water?
So that's what I was afraid of going into this movie. And don't get me wrong, again, at the end of the day, it's still Disney. They're still corporate. I will never just turn a blind eye to them. They are still a mega corporation. Fuck them, whatever. But I do appreciate that at least the film on the surface, for the people who will be watching it, for the future revolutionaries watching this, obviously if you're an actual revolutionary, you should not be in theaters or listening to us. What are you even doing here? Go out, be out on this, like,
start a revolution. Start a one girl revolution.
Don't listen to us. But for the kids out there who will develop like future revolutionary ideas, I think it was good that this movie said, like, look, technology exists, but it should only exist to connect people to then play, you know, and I fucking loved that. I liked that was how it ended. I thought that was the best version of having characters deal with tech without it devolving into AI is just like us. No, it fucking isn't.
That also, I will say the last scene where they got the kids together, they were like, oh, we're going to send messages. And they were like sending messages as Bonnie to be like, hey, like, I think I want my toys back. And then they're like, oh, Bonnie, we turned your messaging service off. And we were like, oh, man, wait, how are they going to get them together? Because Bonnie's not going to be able to respond to the messages. But the little flip was, oh, we were just telling her to come over and drop the toys off so that they could meet in person again.
Yeah.
Like, but I was also like, again, with my point of who's keeping track of what these toys are doing? Because at what point is she gonna go, oh yeah, well you messaged me and said come over, and she's like, no the fuck I didn't.
And she's like,
matter. Right on my fucking tablet it says you
they would have
messaged.
erased it.
We had a full conversation.
Click.
Maybe yes. Maybe since they work with LilyPad and you know all the other electronics, which. Her laptop didn't come live. I guess the laptop's a little too adult. But it was like
I've seen some shit.
It's a kid's laptop.
If you can look up porb on it, then you don't come alive.
You don't come to life.
If it does something with
sacrifice,
sex,
it
doesn't come alive.
That's true. Yeah. So I was kind of like, guys, like this is so sloppy as far as that communicate. But maybe they deleted. I did also think it was really funny when they figured out the Hey Lily, Hey Lily feature, and she had to
see
stop
her eye twitching,
like because she's like she doesn't want to help, but it's the feature like the Siri feature where they have to stop. It has to stop and help you.
I love that.
So funny. That was really funny.
This movie was so creative and funny.
Yeah. I would watch this one again.
I want to watch it right the fuck now.
I would go watch it again immediately.
Yeah. That was to me. That was. So at the end, like we waited through the credits and
we heard a special song from a special someone. Do you know who sang the song at the end of the movie during the credits?
Was it Shania Twain?
Yes.
Okay.
Shania Twain's little cousin.
Wait, are
Taylor
they actually
Swift.
Related?
No, they are not related. As far as I know.
Yeah, whatever. I think that was a bummer. I think this might be the first Toy Story film where Randy Newman did not write a song for it.
But she sang on stage with Randy Newman, so same. Go ahead.
It's like how I felt about Men in Black 3 when Will Smith didn't do an original song for it. I was like, and they got Pitbull. I'm like, look, do I like Pitbull unironically? Yes. Am I disappointed Will Smith didn't do an original song from Men in Black 3? Also, yes.
Look up at the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, not just me, I'm an alien.
You know what? That was about the quality of his rhymes, but you didn't do it with the panache.
Yeah.
Pitbull's got a
shave
panache.
my head and put on a beard.
Yeah, you do.
To be Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide!
Put on a suit. I don't know why I said beard.
I think instead of Taylor Swift, we should have gotten a Mr. Worldwide song.
That would have been funny. No, what they should have done is gotten Pitbull or some other fun rapper, but like gotten Pitbull. Probably realistically they would have gotten Lin-Manuel, but to do the rap that they did,
you know what though? I'm glad you reminded me
because they did make a song out of it. But
and you know who played that pizza slice?
Who?
Benito
Skinner?
What? No. What?
Oh, who's Benito?
Who's Benito Skinner? Oh, no.
From
fucking
Overcompensating.
Bad Bunny.
Oh, okay.
So they got someone in there.
Makes sense because I was like, why is this pizza so important?
Why is that pizza spicy?
I wasn't asking.
Why is the pizza
spicy?
Oh man. Are we missing anything? So there's the wedding scene at the end where the two girls are playing and they actually betrothed Jesse. And mind you, not only did they betroth Jesse and Buzz with Mama's actual wedding ring.
When I saw the ring, I was like, she took her mom's ring. As in the play, I was like, she took her mom's ring, and I was like, maybe they're imagining it. But that's a really realistic looking ring. No. And the only things realistic in this world are the real things. So she took her mom's ring and then they revealed it. But they got them married. And were you going to say they added the lore that Buzz was already married to Trixie? Is that the dinosaur's name? I was like, yo.
That was just established in the second.
Wild.
But
no, that was funny.
My favorite lore drop was Trixie saying, this has happened. This is the third time this has happened. And I couldn't tell if it was the third time that's happened with Buzz.
Right, that he tried to marry someone else.
Or with a third husband.
Yeah.
I was just like, either way, it's funny, Trixie.
It's fun lore. And I was like, I think that Blaze is the type that really is
She's chaos.
She's chaos. She's like, let's take this and like, turn it into like, let's turn this right off on the trail. You think we're on a wedding? Nope. But I mean, Bonnie kind of did that because she did the poisoning at the wedding.
I know.
Somebody got killed.
They're perfect for each other.
So I was like, that is funny that
also
they
it continues Pixar's trend of lesbians. Like obviously we don't like sexualizing.
They're sweet and
they're sweet kids,
girls.
but you know the same way that little kids can have crushes.
Yeah,
that's what I hate. Everyone's always like, you can't sexualize. I'm like, it's not sexual.
It's not sexualizing.
If a 5-year-old boy can have a crush on a 5-year-old girl in a movie and straights are okay with that, there's ain't nothing wrong.
9-year-old girl can potentially grow up to like each other.
So we're not sexualizing. That's only if you think gay people are exclusively just about sex. If we're talking about crushes, lesbians, because they love that. They're just like Inside Out 2. Yeah, Riley's playing hockey and she's obsessed with this girl with pink hair in San Francisco.
I was like, it's giving first crush.
She's straight.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm interested. They might wait a few years and be like, temperature check. How do we feel about a gay lead?
The only temperature check that's needing to be checked is fucking Disney as a corporation. Because the animators, that's what I love about animation.
Yeah.
It's all a bunch of anarchists.
Mm-hmm.
All just a bunch of fucking... The best animation out there is made by fucking anarchy little creative fucking weirdos who love doing shit, who love sneaking in Twilight references.
Yeah. I meant less temperature check as like the creators and more temperature check, obviously,
on
Disney.
The audience.
Testing
There's
the
no
audience,
temperature check.
Because we know...
Fuck the bigots.
Obviously, yes, we would say that. But like $1 billion corporation is $1 billion corporation for a reason. Yeah. They care about their bottom line. So as much as I would say fuck the bigots, like they're not going to do that.
Well,
I would love for them to do it. Don't fuck
the bigots.
Unless you're the same gender, and then they learn something about themselves and they become smollets.
And it's
like
consensual.
Us. Because we're not bigots.
We're smollets?
Smollets.
I don't know what
That's a stupid name. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's like it was like the kiss in the gay kiss in Buzz Lightyear where they had to censor it in certain countries and stuff.
Damn.
It's like they're not gonna write something that's not gonna be able to go everywhere.
Annoying.
Yeah, all that to say, that was the show. That was the movie.
Was Toy Story 5.
Quickly, I did like in the credits.
Oh yeah, mid-credit sequence.
The start of the credits before which credit sequence?
Oh no, say what you're gonna say and then I'll finish.
No, I was just gonna say I liked the little animations of them playing together.
Oh yeah.
And then their parents becoming friends. Just showing that they're like, this is not just like a one-off.
I heard Taylor Swift and I disassociated.
No, I kind of wasn't looking until halfway through and I go, oh, I wasn't paying attention because I thought these were random animations, but this is like almost like the pictures at the end of Lilo and Stitch.
Oh,
where you kind of see like, oh, this is how their life is going.
Story. Yeah.
So seeing them at Halloween clicked
Chase.
me in. Director?
No, the voice of Lilo.
Oh.
And also the ring girl, Samara.
Right. That's sad.
And it was a really sad story. Don't look at
it.
Anyway, damn, what a bummer.
Well, now that we're on a somber note.
No, the mid-credit scene where the Buzzes drone themselves to
to a bunch of kids.
To a bunch of kids in a playground. And then it ends with all of their Wi-Fi's lighting up red because guess what?
There's an enemy!
There's a fucking Zerg that's on the same Wi-Fi hotspot as them.
Gosh,
and I want that toy.
And now they need a movie-accurate, visually Wi-Fi connecting Zerg toy with a screen on its chest that probably also shoots little ping pong balls and you can look through the back of its head. That wasn't established in this. They really could just get away with Wi-Fi Zerg.
Yeah, Benji's simple. Just give him Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi Zerg. No, now it has to be a drone. If it's not a drone, don't sell it. Don't sell it if it's not a drone.
Do you think Zerg flies? No,
we don't know anything about Zerg right now. Until Toy Story 6, they can get away with Wi-Fi Zerg and nothing else.
I love how they brought back that Zerg is his father.
Yeah, he goes. By the way, Zerg is our father.
No, they all
do
it. No, I was like, so that's programmed.
Funny.
So
yeah.
Whoever made Buzz. Fuck Lightyear. I hate that fucking movie. That's actually my bottom of all Pixar films. I put Cars 2 above Lightyear. Anyway.
Whoa. Okay, go ahead.
As much passion as you have for all the Pixar, all the Toy Stories, I hate and loathe Lightyear with a passion. I do not like that. They're like
Toy Story 3, the ending.
They were just like, this is the movie Andy would love. No, the fuck it's not. That somber ass film. Get the fuck out of my face. Anyway, I like how they said, fuck that. No, we're going back to the fact that Buzz and Zurg are clearly designed by someone who loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
And clearly they said, yeah, Zurg and Buzz, father and son.
Father and son.
I
want to play catch with my dad.
I think that's it, though, Benji.
That's
right?
it. That was a fantastic movie. I will be seeing it again.
We did a podcast longer than the movie itself.
Yeah, we tend to do that sometimes.
Not usually, actually. I will say most times we got close with Sinners, where we almost
Sinners was a long movie.
That's true.
Sinners was 2 hours,
That's
so
true.
we really only stopped barely short of the length of the runtime.
Okay, you got me, Benji.
This one's
You're
shorter.
a little stinker, and you got me.
How long is this movie? Like 150?
It's like it was 140. Didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
I was like enthralled the entire time.
I had a great time. When we
Do
sat
you like speaking into your mic?
No. Why? Do you like?
I want to hear your thoughts.
No, you don't.
And I want to hear
if
them.
you wanted to hear my
Benji,
thoughts,
tell us. You were saying you liked
hear my
it.
thoughts. You listen when I talk.
I do, but I can't hear you.
Anyways, no, yeah, I liked it. And coming from somebody who is not the biggest fan of this series, I had a great time with this one. I would watch it again. And it is, if we're ranking.
Ooh, let's do ranking.
It is my number one currently. It
Ooh.
goes probably 5, 2, 1.
4 is Gabby Gabby. You're putting.
Ooh. But I guess. But 3. What happens in 3? How does the 3 start?
3 starts. They're playing on the train set.
And then they're gonna go. He's going to college. Where do they get lost in 3?
They go
to daycare.
Daycare
in 3. Yeah, it would probably be 5, 2, 1, 4, 3. Yeah.
That seems about right. Mine would be 2 is at the bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I think I might have to put 3 only above 2, and I love 3, but I just creatively would rather watch. Okay. I don't want to put.
I will say 3 and 4. I just visually don't necessarily care to watch to
4
rewatch.
is so
there's
amazing.
a gap under 3.
I don't know how I feel about
2
4 to 5
3
yet,
and 4.
because I need to watch 5 again. Right now in the sweeping, I would put. I mean, 1 is always number 1 for me. Might be 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. But it also might be 1,
5,
4, 5, 3, 2.
Okay.
But also, there's so many good things about 3, so it might be 1, 4, 3, 5, 2. Either way, 1.
But also, maybe it's gonna be 3, 5, 4, 2, 1.
No. 2 is always at the bottom.
Right.
I just don't find that movie that entertaining.
I was just naming random numbers. You just changed it like 6 times.
I know, whatever. Either way, I really liked this. You liked it.
Yeah.
This was our podcast for Toy Story 5. See it or don't see it, doesn't fucking matter to us.
Sorry it took us so long.
We're not getting a kickback. And keep an eye out, because we are going to be posting our reactions to 1 through 4 sometime next week, maybe a week from today. So keep an eye out. All right, until then, I'm Rizzo.
I'm Sheriff Benji.
To infinity
and beyond.